The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon. There you go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sunset City, a Sonic podcast for the classic and modern age. Over here on the far end, we have our resident Sonic fan who actually just uploaded a Sonic video, Nick.
Well, hello there.
Okay, no jokes to crack on that one, I guess this time. Anyway,
What? Just say hi.
and
Do you
over
see what I just did for all of you? 45 minutes. That's literally half of the actual video. Do you understand how many nights I've lost just putting up the first fucking half of that stupid goddamn thing? And you want more jokes out of me? Did you not hear enough jokes? Do you want me to scream at you like I did Eggman, Wayne? Am I funny for you now? Am I dancing enough? Am I a good enough clown for you, Wayne? Is that better?
Are you not entertained?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going for. Yeah, you're right.
over on the other end of the table, we have the parent that doesn't make me scared.
Are you? Wait. I'm the one that doesn't make you scared, and I'm the one that just did a 16-day marathon of insanity.
Well,
I
that's
know,
why
it's
you're
sad,
mommy
ain't it?
milkers, and that's why I'm daddy.
God damn it! It's Cirrus. The punchline is it's Cirrus.
There it is.
Okay. I see how it is. Thanks, Wayne.
I love you too. And I'm Wayne. How are we doing today, guys?
I want to die.
We're doing okay. Just so everybody knows what's going on right now, while you see a gravestone for Pup, we think he's just caught in class right now. We push back our initial times because we usually start 9 in the morning my time, but just because of school scheduling, so he's just a busy boy. He'll be with us at some point a little bit later.
Yeah.
So that's why he's gone. And Sony, thank you for the super chat. Like we do every week, and we've been doing for the last few weeks, we do those at the end of the videos now, or podcast, or however you're getting this. So thank you. So if you feel like giving us money, we'll take it, and we will read it later. So there you go.
Woo!
All right. So yeah, hopefully Pup can join us sooner rather than later. But we've been wanting to just get a little more consistent with what time we go live and everything like that. So it's kind of important to just go ahead and get started. That said, we do have some Sonic news to go over today, don't we? Just to kick things off.
Just a little
We have,
bit.
yeah, not a great deal. And I'm stealing all these from Sonic Stadium. I really like this website. These guys are really good about getting any minute little stuff there. So there's some stuff you can either buy or pre-order right now. There's a Sonic holiday sweater and mug on the US and UK Sega shops online. There is a supersonic rubber duck from those tubs, like video game character rubber ducks. That's going to be up on sale. It's frustrating to me. I love stupid crap like this. I adore dumb shit like rubber ducks that look like characters I enjoy. I don't own any of them yet. I would gladly own a supersonic rubber duck. I mean, it's actually the only one of the rubber ducks so far that actually is the color of a rubber duck. And I can't buy it. It's only up at Sega Shop Europe. It's not in the US. It's ridiculous.
Just get force Pup to send you one.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna probably be doing a box swap at some point.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. And the last little tinier thing before we have things to actually talk about, Classic Sonic is on Sonic Racing on Apple Arcade, a game I literally forgot exists.
Yeah, I thought that was something that was coming out. I didn't realize it already launched. But it's on Apple Arcade, so who cares?
Oh my god. It's like saying something's on Stadia only. Okay, cool. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I won't be playing it.
Have you guys read I'm sorry, you go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's not important. I was just gonna say, like, there's like some little JRPG that came out for Apple Arcade, and it looks gorgeous, and like all the environments are actually made of like pre-rendered areas made from like miniatures, like a little mini train set almost.
Mm-hmm.
And it's adorable. Apple Arcade exclusive.
As you do. Boy.
I mean, there's really not too much other news. There's some boring stuff with Sega and Microsoft we'll get into in a little bit here that will lead into a more interesting conversation. truth be told, I am stalling a little bit because I do want Pup's opinion on a lot of stuff we're talking about later today. The only other thing, and again, I wish Pup was here for it because I feel like he would be the best commentary for this. This weird little bit of news where Idris Elba's Knuckles isn't going to be sexy for Sonic 2.
He thinks that, but he doesn't know the Sonic community very well then.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just silly because that's also impossible.
from Idris Elba. I mean, that office clip that was swapped around.
It may not be intentionally sexy.
It's just what he does, though.
Yeah, it's Idris Elba.
Honestly, I cannot say contractually, I cannot say anything, but I wouldn't say he was sexy. I don't think I'm going for that. That's for sure. That was the quote everyone's been looking at for Screen Rant. I think it's just a fun thing.
But it's like, if it's literally just, I'm not going for sexy. Okay, cool. That's fine. Nobody is going to hold you up on that. You don't have to go for it, is what a lot of people have been saying.
So Idris, just like you're making a joke. I'm going to overanalyze that and just really pick that apart.
That's actually
thoughts about that later.
That's actually a Knuckles thing to do too. Not gonna lie. No, Sonic, like, seriously, why is that funny? Sonic, please explain to me. I don't understand why this joke about my tribe is funny. Please. I need context.
Oh god. I feel like Pup is gonna jump in once he's done with class. He's just gonna catch up and start screaming all of his reactions to everything we're talking about. I hope he does that. That would make me very happy.
So you hope he comes in like on a Tom Topics video.
That was a really funny cameo. That was a great cameo.
It really was.
I loved how that was animated. That was a great video.
I got catch up on that.
I've
not seen it.
I got to the point where I was just like, okay, no, we're just gonna watch it on stream. I need to see this. So I did the same thing I did when we were watching the guy who was drinking ball snake.
No, you send people over that way to give them the numbers.
Yeah, just like, hey, we're gonna watch this live, but because we're watching this live, and just everybody go subscribe to Tom.
That would be a great promo. Get Sonic to tie in with Balls energy drink.
Hey, Sonic is in a ball in Super Monkey Ball.
Not untrue, but I think
isn't he just a spin? Why isn't he just curled up?
Look, for the same reason he's in a car in other games. I don't. Look,
this has been a dilemma since the Game Gear.
Sonic Drift. Why is he in a car?
I mean, it was funny when Wreck-It Ralph said it like 8 years ago.
So okay, so for everybody who doesn't know, there's this energy drink me and Nick looked at called Orbits. I think the Orbits was the one, and they have
That's
these.
What I was talking about, yeah.
They have these like little floating balls in them. Why can't we bring that back? But the floating balls are rings.
It's got floating ball. So what is it? Just energy boba?
Well, no. Orbits was this drink in the '90s when they were just trying to just make some random stupid shit just that looks good on a shelf, eye catching. It was just little balls that were not transfixed. What's the word I'm looking for, sirs?
Suspended.
Thank you. Yes, suspended in like mid liquid. They were like, it was surreal to see. I distinctly remember as a kid, and of course, I'm all about that. So I bought it. I don't remember what the drink tastes like, but I can tell you what those balls taste like when you bite into them, and they were horrible. I thought poisoned myself.
I have just provided a link, or not a link, but a picture for Wayne for context.
I can't. My Discord's not letting me see anything. It's still just on a loading screen.
We'll have to show it later. It's like drinking a lava lamp, and all the lava bits are just really tiny.
It's now in Twitter. I will work around this.
Okay.
But I just don't understand why we don't have like that's a thing to bring back with the Sonic tie and just make all the little like orbs rings, and suddenly it's perfect. It's perfect Sonic merch.
So it's so weird, sir. It's like we keep saying that Pup's not here, but it sounds like he's yelling his ass off in the back of your.
Apparently so. That's Krowlith is just having a good time cosplaying Pup.
What the hell is this?
Oh, are you seeing it?
The future, Wayne. That's what it is.
Let's blow the planet up before we can reach it.
All right.
Thanks,
So-
Eggman. Jeez.
Yeah, I've stalled all I can. I don't know where Pup is. Hopefully, he'll show up and have something interesting to say. Last little things to talk about in terms of Sonic stuff you can buy. Humble Bundle is offering a 30th anniversary bundle of Sonic related stuff. You get pretty much everything that's ever been available on Steam for anything Sonic related for about $10. So that's like Mania Forces.
I thought the
Team
Humble Bundle
Sonic
was
Racing.
like $50.
No. Humble Bundle is rarely, especially not Sonic stuff. This is not the first time they've bundled Sonic related stuff.
Okay, because I remember specifically linking that over, and like it was $52 when I checked on the Humble store.
You checked wrong, my friend. There's no way that would be $52. I guess we could just click the link and find out, couldn't we?
We could. That's the thing that could be done.
But
no, I mean, you can. Humble Bundles are you can give them whatever you want, but there are certain tiers that'll get you more things.
That's the Humble Choice bundle specifically. They have other bundles that don't follow that. They don't follow.
I'm talking straight up like what I remember from Humble Bundle here. Let's not get it confusing. It's $10 is the tier for Sonic here. That'll get you everything, and that's a very good deal. So if you don't have that shit on Steam, definitely worth it. I am a sad man, so I literally own all of these games, all physically on consoles and on. Well, not Sonic 4, obviously, but
yeah, you own them all already.
Yeah.
if they ever do like if Limited Run ever does a physical edition of Sonic 4, are you gonna buy it, Nick?
Oh yeah, 100%. Are you kidding me?
All right.
Okay, I see which.
Can you imagine the
you're talking about
ballsiness
now.
of that? That'd be crazy.
And we're back to talking about balls.
Yeah, always.
Of course.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
We're always here talking about hedgehog balls.
That's
Wayne.
why, Idris, you can't help but be sexy when Sonic's involved.
Uh,
Because there are always
Balls.
balls.
And
All right.
this is why Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog was a fetish cartoon.
Man.
That's exactly why.
Anything with talking animal people became a fetish cartoon. Let's be real. That defined so many sexualities.
My God.
Well, look at our cat boy right now.
I mean,
Look,
yeah.
Look.
Oh, look at that disgusting creature.
Don't do what Pup did, where he just puts it like, no, breasts are temporal.
What is your dog so mad at?
So Raz
Like-
was at a hospital checkup today to see what's going to be happening with her surgery, and as she is not home yet, Growlithe is very antsy. Every noise sounds like Raz pulling in. And she'll be pulling in probably in the next 3 minutes anyway, so that might actually just be Raz. I don't know.
Oh, fair enough. All right. So sorry, Pup, wherever you may be, but we're gonna have to just jump into our main topic. So what kind of kicked off this particular topic, and this is something me and Sirs have discussed like plenty. Like it got to a point where I was like, all right, we need to wait for the show to really get into this. I think we did this on stream too at some point, didn't we?
I think we probably did, and it was this and the stuff about Metroid Dread where we had to just be like, nah, we're just not talking about this right now.
Yeah. We just want to wait till we could talk on the show here. So the last bit of news here that here we go. Wait, I thought we agreed we do this 1 hour later.
You did get the time zone wrong, yes.
Yeah, sorry, Pup.
Because this is already an hour and a half later than we used to do it.
Yeah,
Oof.
sorry. Yeah, big oof there. Oh well, Pup will get on here at some point.
Yeah.
So we'll have.
He'll come barging in angry at us now.
Now we'll figure.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's no. This is not true. Past 3 weeks. Tell him. Past 3 weeks. I've got it pulled up on my phone now, because my computer's being stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not doing this right now. We're in the middle of a show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the misunderstanding, Pup. So there we go. I don't know. One of you guys can type. So Oh my god, he's right.
Did we just get screwed by
that's on Sunday.
for us?
It's on Sunday. Didn't it change?
Oh, wait. No, the time zone's don't change till Sunday, right?
For us. It's already changed for him apparently. Theirs already went back.
I was under some weird notion. Well, that wouldn't make any sense, would it, Wayne? I was under some weird notion that America was the only stupid country that did the daylight saving shit, but that wouldn't make any sense.
So that explains it. So I apologize to everybody
We
who
got
was
cucked
listening
by
to us.
daylight savings.
Yeah, so we were talking with Puck because he hopped in the chat just now. Yeah, so I guess UK daylight saving starts a week before United States. So that's why there was a massive miscommunication there. So there we go. What the butts are we talking about?
We were talking about the possibility of a different company purchasing Sega and or Sonic.
Yep. And
well, yeah. So before we get into that, let's get to the boring stuff here. So what inspired that conversation? Sega and Microsoft, and I'm reading from
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, daylight savings times, am I right? I thought
It's
the
the
clock
worst
went
human
back
invention.
over the world.
I'm so sorry, Papa. I was like, he must have the longest lecture. We can't keep waiting. I don't know what else to do.
No need to apologize. Yeah, no, I was wondering what was good. Like, I was like, wait a minute, because it's only 5:57 over here, and in UK time we usually start at 6:30. And yeah, our clocks went back on, I think, Halloween.
yeah, ours go back on the 6th.
That's so weird. During the lecture, though, I was making a poster for the podcast. A little Sonic Heroes inspired Sunset City poster. So I'll send you guys that later.
Do you want to tell them what else you've been working on before we get into the major topic?
Shit. So okay, I don't actually know what is going on in this episode anyway. What am I supposed to tell? Am I supposed to
We've not gotten into the main topic right now. We've just been rambling about like stupid shit you can
We've
buy.
been
related.
stalling so you can get in. We've been doing our best. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. No,
Not your fault, man.
This is a massive miscommunication because countries are stupid.
I assumed the whole world agreed to a time when the clocks went back.
Yes,
okay.
Buddy, Pup, please put the skull mask on his less creepy.
Wait, hang on. Wait, I'm not even looking at the stream right now. I can't even see what chats are going on. Let me open up Chrome.
Oh my god.
It's
You
the
guys- you
well,
guys
Webster
wanna-
says you're super quiet. I can hear you fine.
I got him. It's the recording side on my end. I had Pup turned down during the subathon because it
Right.
didn't equalize with everybody else, but now I got to turn it back up for Sunset.
Because
That's
I
my
was
bad.
yelling
Is
at Wayne
Is
so
it because
loudly.
we were yelling about superheroes?
But you see here, I wasn't actually there for that particular conversation, so
Oh,
it's
that's
not
right.
that.
That never happened because everyone was super polite and civil that entire time you were gone on your subathon. Because me and Pup
Okay, let's.
watched the house dutifully, and we can be trusted to babysit again in the future.
Wayne can't. But like,
Hmm.
yeah, like Nick and I, yeah, we can house sit. Okay, let's see. All right, so yeah, so you want me to tell him what I've been up to in regards to Sunset City then, or?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna read another one of the. I'm sorry, like I know we're not doing super chats, but like some of these people reacted to you, and here's just the best. AKA Shonen Pup literally came in like an anime protagonist, and that is awesome.
Wait, does that mean Pup
All
is the Goku of this group? He's just dead for a bit, then he just comes back. He goes, "Okay, guys, it's time for me to lose my friends to Frieza."
Oh, that's
Cyrus,
kind
you
of Wayne's
haven't-
thing. Wayne
Cyrus,
had
you
to, like,
haven't-
the epic return.
You haven't put in the Studiopolis background for the train, so it can move.
Send me the oh,
It's
Thanks.
on the Google Drive. If you go into Visual Assets,
thanks,
you
Chip.
We're
Jesus.
all having such a. This is.
can. Okay.
This is standard. This is a Sunset City episode. is
It
what
wouldn't
this
be
is.
Sunset City if it wasn't this fun.
Hey guys, check the Discord chat. You want to see the poster I made?
All right,
I'll send it over.
That's
It's
a look at on
inspired
my phone
by
because my
a
PC
piece
is being
of
weird.
Sonic Heroes promo art.
Oh my god, this fucking bug is a flying here.
Oh, that is amazing. I
I
like
like
that.
That's
that.
amazing.
Oh shit!
That's super adorable.
Thanks, man.
Dead.
Hold on, I'm gonna drop that here for everybody to see on the stream as well while I'm finding the Studiopolis background.
Guys, I can't hold back
Wayne
any longer. I have to
dead.
talk about another ball.
Do it.
Do you
Dude,
know
fuck-
what? It's now that Halloween is over, that means that Christmas is just running loose all over the place.
Hold on, it's
Blue Jin
fireworks
everywhere
day.
with jolly spirit.
It's fireworks day in the UK today. I can see out my window people are having fireworks. Do you guys know the origins of Fireworks Day?
I don't think so.
I
No.
don't think so.
So basically, on the 5th of November in, I don't know, some fucking year in the past, some dude called Guy Fawkes
Fawkes, yeah.
attempted to burn down the
Oh,
House
yeah,
of
yeah.
Parliament to kill the government. And every 5th of November, we have fireworks and burn a little pinata of his body on a bonfire. But I think modern generations are rethinking burning his body on a bonfire because we all want to burn down the government now. So, yeah.
It
Overthrow
sounds
the government, everybody.
familiar. Wasn't there a movie with kind of a similar premise?
Yes, the you're thinking of V for Vendetta.
Oh, I've not seen that. I've heard good things. But yeah. I was thinking Guy Fawkes. Oh, okay. So that's actually based. That was based on a comic book. So the comic book was like a heightened reality version of those events.
Yep.
Yep, basically.
Oh,
So
interesting.
my message for my British viewers is the revolution begins soon. Get ready to burn it down.
Yeah!
You've been storing that up for a while.
I've been waiting forever to hit the ball, man.
What's going? Okay, what's this ball thing that you're doing? Like-
Terry's chocolate orange.
Oh, I love those.
They're amazing.
They're the quintessential Christmas treat.
I could not find, dude. Like, I saw them in Walmart this morning. I have been holding it this whole time during the premiere. I don't know why I waited. And then the show started, and I was like, I would like some Cherry's chocolate orange. And then we just kept talking, and I had to do it. And I had to interrupt everybody to.
Are these
Y'all
usually
are-
available in America, or do you need me to send out a care package?
They're only available during Christmas time.
I was about to
it's
say-
similar to here.
Y'all are gonna hate me. What is this?
A Terry's chocolate orange is like this orange flavored chocolate replica of an orange.
Oh my
If that
God.
makes it's in
Oh
these
my
little
God, so-
segments that you break off and shit.
So
And,
I have a Jurassic Park coaster, and I hit it on that, and I broke it in two. It's
alrighty.
it's
It's
made
a
out of
power-
like a cheap concrete or something, and I
God.
broke it in two with the
Jesus,
fucking chocolate.
Look at you being Hercule over there.
Look what this chocolate is doing to you. You were thinking so much about what you could do to open up this chocolate that you didn't think you didn't stop to think if you should.
Here's
So-
the thing. Last
Go on.
thing. This is the exciting thing, and I don't know if you've noticed this before, but it's new for me. This is a chocolate with Pop Rocks in it.
Yo, what?
Wait,
They
your
make
chocolate orange has the Pop Rocks?
this is the first time I've ever seen, because Terry's always looked so fancy
Yeah.
and European.
It
I never
doesn't
thought they'd do
usually
anything
have.
like
It doesn't typically have
Fun.
Pop Rocks in it here.
that's exactly. This is the first time I've ever seen it, so I bought that variety along with the regular.
Ah.
I
Are
gotta
we
hunt
ready?
this down.
There you go, Cyrus. Now you just have to put it in the background, and then it will work.
It takes
There
just a
we go.
second because
It's
when
loading,
you
it's loading.
drag it in, it drags onto the top layer.
So,
what a
folks,
drag.
in the chat, we have an announcement to make.
Yes.
You can now visit the Sunset City gift shop to get yourself some Sunset City merchandise. Basically, we're asking for more money. So,
Oh wait, that's the thing. Like now?
Yeah, you should
It
probably
is,
give us.
and-
You should probably give us a link to that.
yeah, I'm gonna do that. Fuck. But basically,
Wait, you're gonna fuck right here in Sunset in
in-
front of everybody?
shut the
Oh.
fuck up, Cyrus. Okay,
All
so
right.
this
I guess
time,
we have to.
in exchange for your money, you get in return, you can get a Sunset City themed mug, this time with a royalty free sun shape as opposed to the Sonic head. You can get drinkwares for your Nick milk, including a milk bottle. You can get B Theory shirts, as well as posters and more. So if you want to get some horrible items that you'll most likely never use, but we encourage you to buy, by all means, do that. I'm not a good salesman, am I? But like the link is pinned in the thing. If you go on our link tree, which is on our YouTube homepage, which is the timetable for trains in Sunset City, you can reach the gift shop. See, it's like an actual little fucking train now. Isn't that just brilliant? the picture that was shared in the stream, Lulu, maybe we will make that a poster. I don't know. Depends what everyone thinks. But yeah.
I'd say it should be
Man.
a poster.
I can't
What's-
remember the last time I've had Pop Rocks in my mouth. This is amazing.
Nick's
See,
just
it's like
eating here.
y'all always have these conversations while I'm at work or like unconscious, and I never have the energy to go back and read through everything. So it's like this is all news to me too. I saw like Pup sharing around some ideas for merch. I didn't know they were already a thing.
It's like fireworks day in my mouth.
He's just gonna stay on that this whole time.
He's loving it. Yeah, I will make that poster available for purchase if you guys want to buy that too. So
That sounds awesome. So anybody who's listening to this, that is sunset-city-gift-shop.creator-spring.com. So lots of dashes. There you
Well,
go.
of course, so there's a lot of dashes. It's Sonic.
fucking swear to God.
Oh God, that's beautiful. I really do like. I know I'm a big green boy, but I really do like all the purple and just the nice sunsetty look that you put together for us
It's
so
our
long
color
ago.
scheme.
It's very
To
pretty.
be fair, like when I did it, it was completely orange. You were the one that introduced the purple, I believe.
I don't remember any of this. Anyway, good job.
It's because orange is my color, and I would have had to break somebody's legs.
We were originally going for kind of a retirement home kind of vibe for the visual.
Like where
Whoa.
Wayne,
Oh, for- you
like
mean
where
for Nick.
Wayne needs to go.
We're
I
just making a lot
remember-
of jokes about Nick. It's sun is setting.
No, just the
on this old
evolution.
Sonic fan.
The evolution of this whole endeavor is like I remember when Nick was pitching it to us as everyone's one-stop shop for serious Sonic discussion, and well, we basically took that concept and took it behind a back alley, and well,
Sunsetted that idea.
Yep.
yeah,
We
the
did.
sunset on that fucking idea.
We sunsetted that city.
So should we actually talk about Sonic?
No.
Nah.
Yeah, why the fuck would we do that?
Let's have another day off and watch Cyrus eat biscuits in his basement again.
But people have been doing that for 16 days. They need a break.
No,
Oh, God.
fuck you. You eat biscuits for our entertainment.
I can't
I
believe
would-
you're back on the internet. I thought you would
America.
swear it off.
I would
Yeah.
like to say that we're swapping over today's live stream over to Twitch instead. Sir, so you go with hosting.
God fucking
Someone
fuck.
says.
It didn't.
Come
So
on, make your viewers pay you to say more pervy shit and then say
I-
how horrible people they are.
Arra, bitch.
Ooh, ooh.
I legitimately I tried to let out a primal scream and Discord cut me off because it has a peak filter.
Yeah, we warned Pub not to do that, and now you've broken, you
I-
goofy cat boy.
But I didn't
Get your
break
dick
it
out,
because
Cyrus.
because I could be lying to you. Discord cut me off. There's no way to know.
so,
Dick out, Cyrus.
so Sonic the Hedgehog exists.
I hate him.
Don't we all?
So this little bit of news here. I think I actually closed up the spot there, and it's not the most exciting thing on the planet. But Sega and Microsoft are doing a joint venture thing here. Sonic Stadium, just to give you like the headline here, it says Sega and Microsoft forming strategic alliance with Azure cloud platform. And they basically go on there. It's all business technical jargon here, but long and short of it, these two these two corporations are working together for some super game nonsense. It's very vague. We don't actually have any information. It does not mean Microsoft is buying Sega. You can look back at the past couple of years and you can find like a really healthy relationship between Sega and Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft, because that's what they do. Like that's how they're surviving as well as they are. It's just staying really, really friendly with the big dogs right now. But it does bring up the conversation every single time Sega flirts with one of the big console makers. The idea that Sonic will be sold or Sega will be sold. I don't know if that would be the case. I don't know if there's any need for it.
I don't think there
But-
is any need for it. Sega's not like Sega's not in the dumps the same way that they felt like when they were in the console market. Like,
Well,
they're-
that's part of the reason why I wanted to talk about it, because we did have this discussion before. With that mindset, would you say that Bethesda was in the dumps when Microsoft bought them up?
So the difference between those two things for me is that where Bethesda was concerned, the majority of their sales were already on Microsoft things anyway, whether it be PC or whether it be Xbox. So that was already a thing that made sense. There was already a bit of a combination of those two, especially whenever modding was brought up. You always had Bethesda
Well,
products on
that's
PC.
not my point. My point is, was Bethesda looking like it was like in financial dire straits? I don't think that's enough of a reason to buy up a company. I don't think these companies would purchase a smaller one with the idea of making less money, you
Mhm.
know? So I would assume that any one of them, Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft, they would buy Sega for a specific purpose. And that's kind of what I wanted to explore, if you guys would indulge those thoughts and commentary.
So while there is certainly not, you're right that it's more than just like the company being like about to bottom out and being saved in by Daddy Microsoft in this particular case. The other side of this though is, what would there be specifically to be gained if this were to be a thing? I just like how Sega has had exclusive partnerships with Nintendo in the past. I
Mhm.
don't think there's anything really to be gained outside of an exclusive partnership for basically media's sake where this is concerned. I don't think that more would be gained by them going, okay, well, now we're owned by Microsoft, especially since, unlike Bethesda, Sega has mascot viability, and there would be a conversation to be had about the last major company that Microsoft bought with mascot viability and what happened to its mascots specifically. And that would be Rare. And that probably wouldn't be a fun conversation to have, so it's better to just do the it would be better not to have the buyout conversation because of the Rare PR, I would think.
Well, I know, Pup, you had very specific thoughts about. I mean, we'll just jump into Sega. Like, what does Sega look like if Microsoft bought them? Pros and cons. Pup, you had very specific thoughts on that. Um, you sound like you wanted to expand upon last time we talked about it privately.
Well, I guess I did. So, from what I understand, I basically, in other words, I saw a comment on Facebook about it. Basically, this enables Sega to utilize one of Microsoft's studios. I don't know what exactly it is, but it allows them to use some of their resources. Now, as I've said in our chat, I don't think this means anything for Sonic. I think we are kind of I think the whole age of Sonic and exclusivity is looking like it's behind us. Thank fuck. Because, like, especially when you factor in how the last Nintendo exclusivity deal went, it didn't do what Sega wanted it to. And I think Sega, their focus over the past decade or so has been to put Sonic everywhere. They want him to be this giant multimedia thing that everybody has access to, whether you're into TV, whether you're into books, whether you're into games, whether you're into pornography. They've made sure that Sonic is everywhere you can possibly find him. So I feel like having Sonic become an exclusive to Xbox would kind of fly in the face of that concept that Sega has been pushing for the past decade. Better yet, I think if Sonic were to become exclusive to a certain console, Xbox ain't it. Xbox is for the MLG kids, for the people that just want to shoot things. As I kind of said, like, trying to market Sonic on the Xbox would be like trying to market the Baconator to vegans. Like, I'm not saying that Xbox Sonic players don't exist, but the Xbox's whole image and the whole general interest of Xbox players really doesn't fall in line with Sonic. I would say Sonic falls more in line. If he falls in line with anything, especially lately, it's Nintendo. Because Sonic is Mario now. But, like,
Yeah,
even
that's the last
take
company I want to have control over Sonic, though.
yeah, like,
But
even take that out of the equation, though. I think Sonic before Xbox, he would fit on PlayStation before Xbox. Like my list goes number 1 Nintendo, number 2 PlayStation, number 3 Xbox, because like I think because PlayStation has quite a market for sort of the indie game platformer sort of genre and stuff like that. PlayStation's very much kind of kept that more alive. I think Sonic has a better chance fitting in there than with the kids that will call you racial slurs on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's lobby. So that's kind of my way of looking at it. But like, you know, if Microsoft wanted to say, go against the grain, then maybe Sonic would be the right thing to bring on, but I don't see how that's beneficial to Microsoft. And I don't see how it's beneficial to Sonic either to do an exclusivity thing. I think the Microsoft and Sega thing is a strictly it's going to be for a specific project, and if that, that will be Microsoft exclusive. Maybe it won't even be Microsoft exclusive.
It's just going to be
Maybe
for
they're
a
just-
Yakuza game, and then it'll be done.
Yeah, I mean, Yakuza fits in better than Sonic. Like,
It does. It does.
I'm just imagining Sonic just rocking up to like a cartel meeting where everyone has guns and stuff, and he's just in there, just chilling out.
All right. Wayne, do you have anything specifically you wanted to say about Microsoft and Sega before I get into my long-winded thoughts on it?
So I actually agree with Pup on a bit of that, especially when it comes to if he had to go to another like one of these larger companies, PlayStation would be my preferred pick, and uh man, Nintendo, like I said, that would be my last choice. I love Nintendo, but they've been pissing me off lately, and it feels like the most common stories that we see about Nintendo these days are about how they're fucking up. And it's like their games are good, yes, but the Sonic franchise and the Sonic community was always about more than that. And I think something that's kept this franchise alive is what keeps it going outside of the games themselves. The core gameplay is always going to be most important within their own, like, products, but as far as the character, the franchise, the recognizability of like all of these of this entire IP, that's all been through the fan games, that's been through the artwork, that's been through the comics, that's been through all of these fan creations and stuff like that. You give that over to Nintendo, and that part of the fan base dies.
Oh, 100%. I don't
Yeah.
think it means ownership, though. I think it means more of an exclusivity deal.
Even still, I feel like if they had like a full-on exclusivity deal, I feel like Nintendo would be the first ones to crack down on that harder, because they're just they're just so stuck in their ways when it comes to, them being the only ones that can utilize their their properties, and it extends beyond just like, fans using their IP for fan games and stuff like that. It even goes into something like you hear in interviews all the time, is these developers will have these big ideas for games based off Nintendo IP, even working under Nintendo's umbrella, and then someone at Nintendo saying, we might have our own ideas for that at some point in the future, so we're going to say you can't do this, and then we're never going to do anything with it. I'm looking at the retro developed Chic game that never came to be. It's stuff like that. I do not want Nintendo to be in charge of Sonic ever.
Well, before we get to Nintendo specifically, let's tackle these guys one at a time. I'm in complete and opposite disagreement with all of you guys on this one.
Okay.
I think Microsoft is, if any of them had to buy Sega, I would want Microsoft to be the ones that did it. There are negatives, and I think you guys are definitely right in that concern, but I think there's a very different conversation when it comes to a Microsoft that's run by Don Matrick, the guy who was in charge when Rare was bought up when Xbox One initially launched, and current head of Microsoft, Phil Spencer, which is a vastly different company nowadays. Today's Xbox is way, way, way more expansive than it was before. It wasn't trying to focus specifically on Halo and Call of Duty and everything like that. This Xbox looks like it's aggressively trying to expand in a very different way from what Sony and Nintendo are trying to do. They are they're very future focused in terms of how video games are going to be distributed in the future. Nintendo's very much caught in their ways. Sony's very much caught in their ways. Sony's trying to be the pristine, like AAA cinematic experience for video games right now, which is really cool. And we get some amazing AAA experiences from that. In turn, though, I think we're seeing less and less creative output from that. Xbox, on the other hand, you're not getting your Last of Us. You're not getting God of War. You're not getting Spider-Man. You're not getting like the tippy cream of the crop gaming experiences anymore, but you are still getting great experiences. And with Game Pass involved, you're getting a lot more expansive experiences. Um, I see an Xbox that's trying to be very much also the Halo experience, but also like we're trying to be everything else. Microsoft is not the type of corporation that wants to be one thing. They want to own everything. They if they are lacking in something, then they want to fill that market. And I see that no no more prevalent than Minecraft. They own Minecraft. Like full on flat out they own Minecraft. You can buy that game anywhere. And
True.
it's all upgradable. Like it's like it doesn't matter what system you have it on. Like everything is available on any version of Minecraft. From my understanding, maybe not like Xbox characters or Sony exclusive characters, but Microsoft understands this makes money everywhere. So it doesn't matter if you don't buy it on our Xbox systems because that is going to we're going to make that money.
It's still money in
So
their pocket, yeah.
and Microsoft has done here's what's amazing about these guys, I think, is ever since the original Xbox, they have failed to make any kind of a splash in Japan, but they have never stopped trying to make that work. Um and I think with like stuff with like Yakuza and stuff like that, I think they would attempt to make that effort yet again. Like we're going to try to grab all markets here. We have
Mm.
the strongest market in the West, and they understand that. And I think Bethesda helps further emphasize that part of the brand. But I also think they would at least flirt with the idea of bringing in Sega. And as far as Sonic is concerned, that's where we get a little bit more nuanced and even more speculative. Would they keep on the same Sonic team staff?
I would hope
Or
not.
would they take the branding of Sonic, which is as much as I love Banjo, way stronger than Banjo? Um, and what would they do with that? Would they have more Western people like come in and take over the franchise? Would they, keep Azuka on to, keep running the show? I'm not sure, but I guess ultimately, like, regardless of how we look at whatever giant corporation takes over, if they ever did, um, I ultimately would like just a better development team on there, and I guess that's I would be concerned overall. Like I would prefer Sega uh stays as they were and just made better games for Sonic, but gun to head, if we had to pick any of the three of them, I think at least Microsoft has the best chance to help expand out that particular franchise. But those are my 2 cents on that front. I don't see it as a this doesn't fit in with the Xbox brand. It's this is how we expand the Xbox brand.
Because I and you do have a point that like what is the Xbox brand now has been completely different than what it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, also, I just want to clarify because I think the chat are really getting the wrong idea as well. This isn't in reference to buying Sega. I know there were rumors of this in the past, but this isn't in reference to buying Sega. What this actually is a collaborative effort between Microsoft and Sega. Like, what's actually happening is I think they're developing projects together. That doesn't mean it's going to be all Sega projects developed by Microsoft. It just, if you ask me, if you ask me who I'd want Sega to collaborate with on a Sonic game, it'd be Insomniac Games or Toys for Bob. But Insomniac Games would make it a PlayStation exclusive, so that wouldn't be a good idea.
Well, they would have to. I mean, Sony owns Insomniac.
Yeah, and Insomniac only developed for PlayStation full stop. So I guess
They flat out bought them out recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ideal collaborator would be Toys for Bob for me, because they did Crash 4 and Spyro Reignited.
Yeah.
So you'd want a Western-based team working on Sonic. It sounds like.
Hell yeah, I'd want a
Wou-
Western-based team working on Sonic.
Wouldn't
I
be a
find the
terrible
Western
idea.
Sonic projects to be better in general, and I think Sega USA has a much better idea on what this franchise is and can be. Although, yeah, no, I'm gonna stand by that. I think, like, yeah,
M Bonnie's in here. Mania wouldn't exist if Nintendo had a say. I'd like to expand on that. I need to pick his brain about that at some point here. Yeah, there's and there's always pros and cons here. And again, like if we look back at what Microsoft has done in the past, I think that is very telling. I mean, these aren't people. Like Nintendo's going to be stuck in their ways, but like these are still like the end of the day they're trying to make money. And they're going to do what they can to make money. And if there's not money to be made, they don't fuck with it. Banjo's just been around like in Smash Brothers or in like re-releases and rare replay stuff like that, but they've not really bothered to spend the millions upon millions of dollars it would cost to make another AAA giant platforming Banjo game because they probably don't see their money being in there. So that is, of course, like something to look at and worry about. I think Microsoft would at least pony up for another 2D game for Sonic. I would hope they would back a nice chunky AAA Sonic experience, like understand like the brand power behind the Hedgehog and take advantage of that to really emphasize this is a Microsoft brand. Because guarantee, regardless of anything they do with Minecraft right now, they are going to be doing that with Bethesda. No two ways around it. Like they're going to make sure that Starfield is an Xbox brand. Outer Worlds, Xbox brand. Fallout, Xbox. They're even if they show up on other consoles, and I don't think they're going to do that with anything. As expansive as they're trying to be, I do think they are going to try to hold some of the cards a little bit closer to the chest to kind of bring more people into their brand. Whether that be by an Xbox console or not, I don't know. But I'd imagine they're thinking big picture and they would like to have you on whatever the Xbox gaming streaming service will be in the future. Because that's what it's going to come down to. Eventually, we are going to move past boxes and it's going to be another kind of streaming service. And they want to be sure you think of them first. There
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, I've always wondered too when it comes to like although that might be a cuz I feel like that's a bigger discussion that's better served on another day, but I've been wondering about like physical releases, and as much as I would hate to see them go, would it be for the best sort of thing? I
Yes and
don't
no.
it's there's pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
For sure. I think in terms of like how much how many resources we pour in, plastic and paper and whatnot into producing all of these. Probably cut down a bit on that on what's become one of the largest industries in the world. But again, that's a discussion that could go off into a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Well, you guys want to move on to one of the different console holders, Nintendo or you guys seem like you're itching to talk Nintendo specifically,
I'm upset with Nintendo.
but you just got done playing Dread.
Yeah, and even that's got some problems. And if we're just looking at not necessarily the game itself, but in terms of its like the way it was produced and everything, if you just look behind the curtain and see what was going on in the studios during its development, not great. Why the fuck isn't everybody like credited for their work on that when some of the like assets other people worked on are in that game and their names do not appear in the credits? Standard. I said this in my review. Standard business practice is not a fucking excuse. Like, no, if somebody worked on that, you credit them for it, and just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean you can't become the trend center. Like, it's and then I don't know. Nintendo. I'm we had this one game that just kind of worked out. But that's I don't attribute to Nintendo as a company. I attribute that to the team that worked on it, and I attribute that to Sakamoto, who's been waiting on this one project for the better part of 2 decades. And he just had some tenure in the company. If it had been anyone else, it would not have happened. If it was just this studio that came forward and was like, "Hey, we want to work on this," they never would have greenlit it. it was only because it was Sakamoto. I don't think it was because it was Nintendo as a company. Now, where the series goes from here and how they're going to continue to treat the Metroid franchise, that's yet to be seen. But if we're looking at everything else this company has been doing, between like the stupid shit with Mario 3D All Stars to the yeah, which again isn't anything new if we're really looking at it. It's just a modern version of what they've done in the past, but that's not necessarily that doesn't make it better in my eyes.
Yeah.
But and then we're looking at this bullshit with the Nintendo Online service, and just how shoddily and like backhanded this entire service has been. And I don't care how tinfoil hatty it sounds. I still absolutely believe that the only reason there is an option for paying for a year-long subscription and no options for paying it monthly is entirely because they knew the quality, the shit they were putting out, and that people would just unsubscribe, and that they just want to lure people in and then fix it later.
Yeah.
That's what Nintendo as a company has mean to me. And then all these it just constant fan projects and everything getting shut down on a like basically on a weekly basis. We see a new article of something like this. I get it, legally they have the right, that, but it's just like it's
the
so
conversation.
poisonous.
The conversation has never been about can they do this. People always try to insert that, and they're like, they're a company. It's within the right. I don't give a shit that it's their right.
Yeah,
I give
no,
a shit
fuck
that it
that.
sucks.
Yeah, I don't.
it-
I'm kind of over the corporate apologizing for Nintendo in terms of that. Like they make some great games, but they need to get on it. This is still in line. God, frog in my throat. This is still in line with Nintendo as they've always been. Like, how
Yeah.
long did we have to spend with the Nintendo Partner Program on YouTube? For fuck's sake!
and and that's my thing, and I'm sorry for taking so much time on this, but
No,
it's
it's
like
fine.
but I've always been an enormous Nintendo fan, so it's just kind of like this big thing for me where I'm finally coming to this point where I'm just really fed up, is that this has been the status quo for a while. And it's not even just that they make really good games, they make some of the best. And for them to constantly just be we keep letting them get away with this, and it's going to be it's a bit too much, and we're dealing with the consequences, and I think they'll continue to get away with it. I'm just not happy about it.
Yeah,
Well,
but I
like-
think it's very strategically done. Like, because they know there's stuff that the hardcore fans are going to get pissed about, but they'll still make the money. And then they will drop something that completely distracts everybody. Everyone's pissed about NSO. Well, don't worry, because Dread is back. Oh, everyone's upset with the amiibo garbage with Skyward Sword, or the fact that that old fucking game, which is just emulated, not that much has been done with it, and it's back out for $60, $84 if you get that fucking amiibo with it, if you can find it. Well, don't worry about it. We're going to talk about the Mario movie now. It's like they know what they're doing. Like, this has very much been what Nintendo has always done. They've
Yeah.
been very manipulative with their fan base. And yes, they put out amazing quality stuff, but
Amazing
God,
quality
dude, like-
games specifically, but the actual like their service, their hardware, everything else, like they still haven't solved drift. They still
Yeah.
haven't solved drift. They
well, they haven't. It's not a matter of solving it now. It's like it's a legal thing at this point.
The fact
Like-
the fact that that was an issue in the first place was unacceptable. The fact it's an ongoing issue when the Switch has been out for what 72 years now is just fucking ridiculous.
And a half.
I think this is acceptable in terms of like a launch system. I'm a little bit more forgiving with launch systems, but I'm also with the understanding that they're going to follow the Microsoft route, which is like everything red ringed. Okay, you're getting a new one for free. That cost them billions of dollars to fix that. Billions. And they still did it. I mean, they could afford to, but Nintendo can't afford to do it too. And
Again,
it
they're
is-
one of the biggest companies in Japan. They have the money.
yeah, so it is pretty
Also,
disgusting.
me being a Switch Lite user, I bought the Switch Lite before I knew Joy-Con drift was a thing.
Oh,
Every
God.
day I just prey upon the little Joy-Cons on there. I haven't had any drift yet. So far so good. I've had it
Yeah.
for a few years now, no drift. But it's like the day I get drift, fuck, because you can't replace the Joy-Cons on that. So I think
I-
my procedure then will probably just be to get a controller and just plug it in. But I'm dreading it.
I hate the
My,
fact that I've gone through 3 Joy-Con, my three left Joy-Cons so far.
Yeah, I gone through 2.
I
I've sent them both into Nintendo, and that's the thing though, because I send it into Nintendo because I have bought their fucking Nintendo Switch. I've played their video games. I bought their latest big release. I spent $60 on a game that I think it's worth $60, but every other company would have sold that for $40.
yeah. And the thing is, we're gonna keep buying stuff like it. That's I know I'm a massive hypocrite, but when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, I'm day one.
I'm day one for that too.
Yeah,
That's the problem with Nintendo is like quality products, piss poor overall customer service.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is though, it's not quality products though; it's quality games.
True.
Everything else that they've been doing right now has been garbage. Because like the Switch is a wonderful console in concept. It's a wonderful console in execution, but mechanically, the things that it does have been done before, can be done infinitely better, and they choose not to. And I'm actually curious, Wayne. Let me know what the lifespan ends up being on the Joy-Cons for your OLED system, because
Oh god, they haven't fixed it.
I may be the wrong person to ask on that because I've been cursed with brilliant luck when it comes to Joy-Con drift. I had Joy-Con drift. So I bought the original model of Nintendo Switch the night they came out.
Mhm.
And I rocked the same pair of Joy-Cons for the entire run up until I traded it in after buying the OLED. I had drift once. I got a Q-tip and cleaned out the little socket with some rubbing alcohol. Never had that problem again. I'm not saying the problem doesn't exist. I'm just saying I'm really lucky.
Well, and that's
Yeah, I've heard all
fair.
those little fixes.
My thing is that I am curious about how long the OLED's Joy-Cons are going to last specifically, because my thoughts, and this is tinfoil hatty, but my thoughts are that the OLEDs will end up not having Joy-Con drift, as if Nintendo has been able to solve this problem all along.
I think
do-
we
I
would have had
do-
that fixed by now with more releases. We've had the Hyrule Shield, Sword and Shield, or just a sword shield design comes out. We've had new Joy-Cons come out since the drift started, that still
And
have that problem.
well, I mean, the drift started within the first week of the system coming
It
out. Like
did.
people, yeah, I remember sitting in my dorm room playing Breath of the Wild and seeing little articles pop up about people having problems with that. I'm just like, oh boy, I hope that doesn't happen to me.
No.
And yeah, I mean, I remember when the OLED came out, people were kind of like dissecting the Joy-Cons on it, and they were looking into it, and they were like, this is made more or less exactly the same as the Joy-Cons for the previous systems. So it like, and I recall somebody saying that the same issue that was causing drift on the older Joy-Cons, in terms of like the build of the controller was still present. I think one thing that helps me is that I play about equally on split across the 3 modes, either handheld, docked to my TV, or on a kickstand. And on my TV or with a kickstand, I'm playing it with a pro controller or with, like whatever other controller I have, 64, SNES, otherwise. So that might help contribute to the longevity of my Joy-Cons.
And I know for me specifically, I really fell in love with the form factor of the controller whenever you just like shove the Joy-Cons into the gamepad little like grafting system they gave you. Like I
Yeah.
really loved the form factor of that, so I used that exclusively for the first year and a half I had my Switch. I did not get a pro controller until I was forced to get a pro controller after my second bout of Joy-Con drift. That was when I finally got a pro controller, and that's
So-
what I use now.
I'll say I didn't get a pro
So,
controller till
guys,
last year. What's up?
Let's get back on track here.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So just on Nintendo specifically, it sounds like you guys have a lot of thoughts about how they're running the company currently. I think that is partially. I've been wondering about this, like how much of this is pandemic. I actually talked about this a little bit in part 2 or 3, however I split up the Sonic Colors video. But it does come down to current management. Because I'm noticing that they're not taking quite as much care, and I'm wondering how much of that is just because they can get away with it, Like they can be a little less generous, like they were with Wii U. Like when you compare the Twilight Princess remake or re-release compared to Skyward Swords, like you got an amiibo and the retouched up game for $60 all in one package.
They did that for
as opposed
Wind
to
Waker.
Skyward Sword.
They did that for Wind Waker too, because you got the Ganon
They
figure
did.
with it.
You
So
did.
like,
So
hmm.
all that said, I guess when it comes to Sonic, Nintendo is the very last company I want to touch Sonic.
Yeah.
I think they have the capability of making it as polished and refined as Mario. And I know that I know people are going to compare colors in Lost World. Like, well, we've had Nintendo exclusive games. That's fine, but that's still made by Azuka's team. I'm talking about like a Nintendo internal team working on Sonic would be stellar if they put the thought and love and care that the series deserves to help it truly shine. I think Nintendo has the people to make the best Sonic game if they wanted to do it.
We
But
just,
I
we just
also
have no
feel
way
like,
of feeling that they're going to.
well, here's the other
Yeah,
thing
that's
about it is like it is still the same set of people that refuse to put out a good Star Fox game, and
A
F-Zero
point,
is just left to waste away.
And the last F-Zero game wasn't even developed by Nintendo. It was developed by Sega.
Yeah, and they
point-
flat out just won't. They will not make a new Star Fox game. They won't do it. They've literally remade the first game 3 times.
A point I just really want to stress, by the way, is when I said that Nintendo would be my number one, I was referring to likelihood, not what
Yeah.
I want. Like, if you
Sure.
ask me, Sega should remain strictly third party. They should remain their own thing, but have a rocket up their ass so they can actually make something good.
Rocket Wisp.
Would you just fuck off, okay? This isn't the day to do this. No, but
What the fuck?
Jesus, who pissed in your peat rings?
I'm just fucking with you, but like, yeah, no, there's nothing more for me to say. So can someone else please speak now? Because I don't like this.
So I guess there's a monkey wrench I want to throw in here that we haven't considered. We've been talking about the company to buy Sega based on how they currently exist, and that was actually like the whole premise behind your point, Nick, was the way that Microsoft currently exists is different than the way it used to. The monkey wrench that I want to throw in here is there a past version of a company that you would have wanted to buy Sega? Because personally, I think that if it were to be Nintendo, GameCube era Nintendo would have been the Nintendo I would have preferred. Picking up Sonic.
I mean, a hungry Nintendo is a powerful Nintendo. There's no two ways around that. I think if I would literally hand it off to anybody in the past, because Sonic in the past was a much more viable property that everybody would have taken advantage of. Every single one of them. Nobody would let that go to waste. And I worry Nintendo would let Sonic go to waste. You go back to even early 2000s when Sega is just dying like a failure, like just the most embarrassing time in their existence as a company. Everybody want to know what was going to happen with Sonic. Everybody. So I'd have to imagine like the behind the scenes conversations were very interesting back then. I'd take any of them. Sonic on a PS, like a Sony era, like PS2 era Sony or GameCube era, or like a fresh Microsoft, like basically making a Dreamcast 2.
Dude, with a fresh Microsoft, we got things like Munch's Odyssey and the Conker's Bad Fur Day remake out of that. And say what you will about the multiplayer in the Conker's Bad Fur Day remake, the actual core game itself was a vast improvement over the N64 original.
What are you talking about? The multiplayer was like the selling point of the remake.
Well, yes. What I'm saying is that with so my opinion is that the multiplayer in the Nintendo version is superior to the one in the remake, but the single player in the remake is superior to the version on the N64. That's my point.
You're saying the N64 multiplayer for Conker is better than the Xbox version?
Yes.
I vehemently disagree with you.
I've never played it.
You know what I reckon?
That's a different conversation, though.
My point is that like we got stuff like that out of that early version of the Xbox, and I would have liked to see what we would have gotten out of Sonic with that same type of love and care that were given to those storied characters.
Yeah. I think that's
I'm
all.
gonna
At the end of the day, that's all we're hoping for.
I'm gonna set off the group chat. Well, not the group chat, but the live chat, and I'm gonna say something that's gonna upset everyone. But I
Please do.
want Big Red Button to have another go with Sonic. I want them to
No,
get a second. I want them to get a
I
second chance because Big Red Button weren't really the issue with Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyrics.
I don't think there's
production.
anything wrong with
no
that
man.
take.
I absolutely agree with you.
They had no idea that they were developing a CryEngine game on the Wii U of all fucking
I mean,
things.
I will say this: it does boil down to mismanagement from Sega. I do think there's still like on paper the idea behind Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric as a concept was a bit like fucked, just simply based on the fact there's not a combination of speed and platforming. But I think if they were just given a brief to make a fully 3D Sonic platforming game, I would like to see them get a better chance, knock it out of the park, and get a good reputation among Sonic fans. Because there's nothing quite like a redemption story, and it's really not them that actually need the redemption in this
Well,
case.
I was going to ask though. Does Big Red Button still exist? And if so, what have they worked on since
They
Boom?
still exist, and I'm just on their website now. No, I'm not. I clicked off of it. Shit. Let me.
You have to hit the
open-
big red button, pup.
No,
They're
Nick,
not-
those are the mutually assured destruction nuclear launch codes. Don't do that.
You're
I
just
chose
not
to work with these
as
idiots.
That'll put
funny as
Sonic
you
on
wish you
Nintendo
were.
hardware, and it will cause cats and dogs.
Okay, right,
Mass
boys.
hysteria.
I'm going on their show reel. I'm on their homepage. So the top of their show reel is the Arc Slinger, which appears to be a VR sort of shooter. The second one down is Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric. I'm surprised they even have that on their show reel.
They
All
might not
things
have much of
considered.
anything else. Yeah.
The Divergent series Allegiant Virtual Reality. They seem to specialize in virtual reality.
Wait,
Wait,
what?
Divergent has a game,
What?
and it's a
It-
VR game.
Yeah, it does. There's
boy.
Tapestry, Project
I
Tapestry,
can't
any
wait to play
game, any
Eugenics the
style,
game.
anywhere. There's the Vault. Okay, so what's the Vault? It's some cool stuff from their past. They've got Monsters, The Path, John Wick: The Impossible Mission.
That
Yeah. I don't want them touching Sonic again. I'm sorry. I don't think they got what it takes.
There's also
I just
Crash
want
and Burn. There's
I want them to be given a project. It doesn't have to be Sonic. I want Big Red Button to be given a project. I think a lot of what they're working on now is because they had to move on to a different field. Who's
Yeah.
going to pick them up after what happened with Sonic, with Rise of Lyric, even though it wasn't their fault?
Well, hold up. Have you seen their proof of concept trailer for Crash and Burn from 2014, which was set to be a return to Crash Bandicoot? It actually looks pretty authentic. Like,
Yeah.
I think this was when did the Insane Trilogy come out?
about 3 years ago.
Because I think this was like what they tried to do before that, and it got shelved, I believe. But that actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, because like my thing, I just want them to be given a chance to make another game, something good, something fresh that lets them really stretch their legs on what they wanted to do with Sonic. In a way, I mean, I feel like their entire reputation, not only just among fans, but also probably across the industry, what kind of stuff they can develop was impacted by the poor management of Sega, and because they just couldn't leave well enough alone and had to meddle with every single step of that process. I mean, Big Red Button, this might be a little exaggerated. I kind of view them as a victim of the Sega Corporation and just
Well,
kind
they
of like,
100% were.
yeah, they were fucked over there. It's not their fault that Rise of Lyric turned out the way it was.
There's another aspect of that as well, though. So hold on. Most of the issues with Rise of Lyric, a lot of people know, are performance issues. They have to do with the frame rate drops and speed sections, the fact that the CryEngine was used at all on a 3-core processor on the Wii U. We know that.
Well, yes, but also if you look at the interviews and everything and just everything that they had planned for it, the entire story had to be scrapped because one day Sega just woke up and said, "Hey, yeah, no, get rid of all of that, but your deadline is still the same."
That was the thing. They started
Oh,
working on
Jesus.
it as like a prequel to the Sonic series, and it was going to have completely different designs and stuff. Then out
That's
of
why
nowhere,
it has time travel at all, then, right? So
well, hold up, like yeah, out of nowhere, Sega said actually it now needs to tie in with this Sonic Boom cartoon, and we need you to scrap all this stuff. So they were
Yeah.
basically working on a completely different game altogether from the beginning. But then I think the thing that killed it completely was obviously CryEngine 4 moving over to Wii U architecture. I'm going to say this though, if the game were technologically competent, it still wouldn't be very good because it kind of misses the point of what Sonic gameplay is all about, which is why I kind of remain a tad hesitant. But again, I think it's all part of the brief. I think, like, if they have a brief to make a conventional Sonic game replicate what makes the Sonic games good, I think they could do that because they did that with Crash and Burn. If you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying.
I'm sorry to be so negative here. I do appreciate the idea of getting talented people another chance to, you know, do what they can do, because they were put into very unfair circumstances. Thing is, a lot of developers are, and everything I've seen from them since, when I'm looking at here, I'm not impressed. And I know that's not on them, because Sonic Boom definitely wasn't the best way to, kick things off as a new studio for them. I'm seeing Mbani here in the chat, and I completely agree with him here. I'm just going to quote him. Not saying they couldn't have done it without the awful mismanagement, but Big Red Button as a unit, while talented, was pretty inexperienced at the time, as they'd basically done nothing but pre-pro for 2014, which is correct. I think that was too big of a project for them to take on regardless.
Not to mention, Sonic projects have a unique problem, and that's the problem of filler. That, like, you need to have a good company that already has a really solid game plan to be able to solve, because otherwise you get a 2-hour-long Sonic game that everybody complains about. You get something like Sonic Forces, or you get something that has so much filler jammed into it that people complain about that end, or you get something that doesn't resemble the Sonic game, like what we got with Rise of Lyric. Like, that's a challenge you want to hand over to an experienced studio, and I know that it's a challenge that's based entirely on the problems with Sonic's design, especially in 3D, is that you've got to make so many assets and so much map for this character to run around in. Otherwise, you just don't have a substantial game. And that sucks. It does make it a uniquely challenging character to develop for. It does make inexperienced studios a really bad fit for this. But, I don't know.
But that aside,
though, to like the whole inexperienced thing, I still don't think experienced studios are the be-all and end-all when it comes to this, because I think when it comes to Sonic, you need fresh minds that can think outside the box. And I think that's why some Sonic fan games show so much promise. And if you had the open minds of some of these fan games working alongside professionals at Sega, provided they can fucking behave themselves, you could actually have a really, really great project. But that's
I understand that, but like leading
Yeah.
off a big multi-million-dollar offshoot for Sonic the Hedgehog with a brand new team that did not have the experience with any kind of project this size before, I mean, the results speak for themselves.
Well,
I know
I
there's
mean,
Sega mismanagement there, but I mean, for fuck's sake.
if I could springboard off of that a little bit, though, then I guess my answer would be don't make it so big. Like, still do a Sonic thing, but keep it small. We talk
They should have
about
done the 3DS games.
yeah, that's my thing is, or even a console game that was just not as big. It doesn't have to be enormous, and I think that's something that Sonic keeps getting itself into trouble with all the time. Is the bigger it tries to go, the more it trips on its own feet.
I think this is
And
the thing that's so frustrating about the Boom scenario, though, is when you take Rise of Lyric's final product out of your head and actually look at what the concept was, it was in many ways what a lot of people were asking for. Better characterization for the main cast. I mean, what I'm saying here is in reference to the current climate of Sonic. I don't get why people think it's ever going to change back now. Like, the current Japanese Sonic just is the way it is. I don't think it's ever going to go back to being better or slightly more nuanced characters as they were. Sonic Boom, while it moved things in a more comedic direction, it did it better, I would say. And it's like they brought back an adventure style game. Like, the overall structure of it is closer to an adventure game. And like, you've got multiple playable characters again. Like, Sonic Boom is in many ways what a massive sector of this fan base, probably the most vocal of them today, were asking for. It's just the execution is so buggered up. And it's like,
yeah,
a thing I did recently when I was doing research for, I think, a Sonic Boom 3DS video, I watched the launch trailer for Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric again, and I just saw that trailer. I was like, this is the best fucking Sonic trailer ever. Like, this looks so good.
Well, the
How
trailer
could it turn out this
alone,
way?
when I saw the trailer alone, I remember the first thought in my head was, oh wow, this looks like an adventure game.
It looked awesome. Like,
I'm actually interested, Nick, just because like I was commenting on how thorough you are in your analysis earlier today, but again, good fucking job on that Sonic Colors
Well,
video.
thank you.
Hell yeah.
Part one or otherwise, like outstanding work. But you do you know you roll up your sleeves and you get to work and you like analyze every facet of these games when you look at them. I'm interested whenever you do get around to like Rise of Lyric, like what that's gonna look like.
I am too. I can just tell you my surface level stuff right now because I do own the game, but I've not had my Wii U hooked up for quite a long time now.
Don't
Last time
blame
I
you.
did, I just bought some DS games on it, and I have not played them since.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is surface level is there's a lot of different factors when it comes to Sonic Boom that I wanted to see expanded upon, and a lot of things I'm glad are left in the dirt as they are. Overall, bluntly, I don't want Boom back. I don't like Boom, but a massive, massive part of what makes it work and what resonates with people is how the characters speak with one another, how they express themselves to one another. And I think it works so well because that was a truly, definitively Western take. This wasn't a localized take of Sonic the Hedgehog. Regardless of how they do the scripts now, they are still working with Sonic Team in Japan, and that does come through a little alien in some way. And I know a lot of people are used to anime and how anime talks. It's still a little foreign to me. And I mean, usually when the adventure games are played, like if I put the Japanese tracks on or I watch Sonic X in the original language it's spoken in, it makes more sense in that context. Sonic Boom makes sense from a Western context because it seems like it's being written in a language that the people reading this stuff are like this is their source language, like this is their first language from the writing end to the voice end, like all the way through start to finish. And I think that naturally comes across a little bit better for a Western audience because I can't speak from a Japanese perspective. And I think that is what resonated with me with what I've seen from Boom. Not so much the gameplay or the overall designs. I think the
Yeah.
designs are the weakest part of that. It's where Sonic
would-
Colors and Lost Galaxy, whatever the fuck I was thinking, Power Rangers. Lost World was
Lost
doing
Galaxy.
Lost
was-
Galaxy.
I've been in a Power Rangers kick, bro. I don't know what to tell you. But where that is going for Mario, I saw Sonic Boom as trying to go for Jack and Daxter and Ratchet, and that failed even more spectacularly thanks to some buggy stuff. But I feel like bluntly, if they got to make the game they wanted to make, it would have still been a lesser Ratchet and Clank
I
or
agree with
Jack
that.
and Daxter.
The thing,
And I said this about Forces too, just to say like this is my problem with, and I finally got to put it into a single sentence just because we were talking in the chat during the thing. My problem with Sonic nowadays is Sonic Forces feels like it's copying Sonic like Sonic Colors is copying Mario. And that is my problem now with the franchise is because it doesn't need Ratchet, it doesn't need Mario, it needs Sonic, and it needs people that understand Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic
And I know
went
we
for
haven't
milk
talked
one day and
Sony
he's never
or
come back.
yeah, he tried some of that
Goddamn.
milk.
the thing I would say though is I think Sega and also fans have a tendency to act like nothing about Sonic Boom worked.
And that's a problem. Yeah.
More than I want Sonic Boom back, I want Sega and I want everybody as a collective fan base to admit there were things about Sonic Boom that not only worked, but were an improvement on what we have now. There
And-
are so many parts of like Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric that I would take over 10 Sonic Forces. Now, that's not
I
me saying
agree.
Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric is a better game. It's a game I've got more respect for, but definitely a worse game. But like what I would say is no, don't have Sonic and friends running around in sports tape and shit, but have them interact with each other. Have them have smaller heads and hands that can actually express. Like the Boom designs, take away the extra frills, the actual proportions of these characters are better because they can express better. Like have the characters interact again, like I said, like what you were saying, Nick, in game, they interact better. Have Amy have her Boom characterization because Amy's personality in the games is just that she's a fucking girl. And that's it. Like have her
That's a lot of what
actually
IDW brought in actually for Amy.
Oh
have
yeah.
her act like the person again. Bring back sticks. I saw Mbani say bring back sticks. Absolutely bring back
Fuck
sticks.
yeah, bring
Dude,
back
do
sticks.
you wanna-
The
Super well
Sonic
defined.
franchise.
You know
the
one of my
Sonic
favorite things about Styx is the fact that she was able to tame a Monster Hunter zombie dragon in the crossover. I'm sorry, I love Styx.
the thing is, like, the core Sonic game franchise, how many good female characters do they actually have? They've got Blaze, and that's it. Like, Rouge was once interesting a long time ago.
There was Raccoon
Amy,
for a second too.
the thing with like the Sonic series now is I think people tend to act like changing it is this heinous thing, but look at the state of it now. Once
Yeah.
upon a time, Sonic stories and Sonic characters, while horribly translated and localized, were interesting. They're not anymore. Like, let's look at the past 10 years of Sonic, from Forces going back to, I think, Sonic Colors. How many of those Sonic stories would you be happy to sacrifice for something else? All of them, in my case. They're all shit. They're all fucking terrible. I would take a Boom story with lots of hooks over fucking Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations, Sonic fucking Lost Valley, Sonic shit, all that crap.
Sonic and
Team Sonic
Toucan.
Racing. Look at the story there. Look at the state of the fucking dialogue. It's shit. It's crap. It's garbage. Get the Boom writers in. The fun fact is the Boom writers were Pontac and Graf in the games. How fucking crazy is that? But like, this vision
Man.
of Sonic today is so fucking inadequate that I would take a second roll of the dice for the Sonic franchise that fucking died on its ass over more shit like they're currently doing.
And that's like
Beautifully said, man.
yeah,
You were
no,
holding
man,
that in
and,
for a bit.
and
I
to
want
kind of
Boom
take it back
back.
to a conversation we were having the other night, and I'm sorry for doing this, but when we talk about like how we criticize games and everything like that, I've always seen it as more of like people look at critique like it's just pointing out what didn't work, and I think that to me it just means applying critical thinking to a piece and finding the things that did work and something bad too. Being an apologist of sorts, I guess. And it's so important to just like fans get these knee-jerk reactions to certain titles and to certain games, and it's so important to go back and find the few things that worked in those, because sometimes it's some of the best stuff in later titles once it's been refined. So like we were talking the other night, it was kind of good that that Mercury's team took the time to look back at Metroid Other M and actually find some of the elements of that, not just in the plot, but also in the game, that actually were salvageable and something that could be improved upon and helped create a better product in the long run. Imagine Metroid Dread without those enormous like hands-on melee counter sequences when you're fighting boss fights. It just wouldn't be the same. And I think that's really important for Sonic too, is that I think as fans and as critics, and I think as developers, will often take games as a lump sum and
Yes.
just sort of look at it as the entirety of its finalized product as just one unit, instead of being able to just pick it apart and find, okay, here's what was good. Yeah, there's a lot of mess here too, but what can we find that's salvageable? What can we find that's actually like a little gem in here somewhere that that we can use later on?
Exactly. And that's like, there's a lot of animosity towards games like Sonic 06 and Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, and quite right too. You shouldn't go giving Sonic a participation trophy. But I think Sonic fans do still need to kind of not become 06-ophobic. Like, not become boomophobic, even. Like, accept these games as a part of the Hedgehog's legacy and be willing to draw upon the things that did work in that. And that's what I think Sega needs to do. But they keep throwing the entire baby out of the pram. Like, no, fucking change its diapers. Fucking don't throw the baby away.
No, yeah, we've talked about that point, I'd say multiple times on here, and I think it's something we all agree with there. And if they did, just not use all the elements that didn't work before, like if the internet existed back in 1991 and Sega was what it is today, uh Labyrinth Zone we just get rid of water in Sonic games. What they
Yeah.
did instead was give us Hydrocity, Hydro City. That
Exactly.
gave us chaos. when that game
You
was
know
like-
something I'm afraid of is that Sonic Boom, not Sonic Boom, Sonic Forces was the first Sonic game in this past decade, first mainline one, to have a devoted vocal track and to really go ham on the vocal tracks and to go back into that. Yeah, it was the de-Marioification of Sonic.
Well, because like
It
the whole thing, and I think kind of like the internal joke there was that like, hey, if you're gonna be the fan character, you're gonna get the fan soundtrack almost, is what
Yeah, well,
they did
kind of
there, and I liked
what
that.
I'm thinking, what I'm worried about is that going forward, because Sonic Forces wasn't received well, they're going to be like, okay, that means no vocal tracks. We're going to go back to making it feel like Mario and stuff. Because, like, all the shitty things about Sonic Forces aside, it is the de-Marioification of the Mariofied Sonic.
I don't quite agree with that. I think it's a very healthy split, half and half. I think the Nintendo focused console games were very Mariofied, and that was very intentional. But you got Generations in the middle of all that there. Like
Yeah, I guess
Generations
I'll give
is
Generations, yeah.
like it's the peak of their current
I
slough of
guess
games.
it might even just boil down to it being like Nintendo exclusives. Like Colors is obviously very Mario-y in its kind of
But
structure.
I
And
think
then,
I think your criticism about it is still something that we need to just keep a concern about. Um, and like I'm spoiling a little bit of my ultimate conversation too. Um, because even if it's not Mario, we have a team that is very obviously looking towards what works for the other big names right now, and like desperately trying to take those
Probably.
ideas and in turn use them for themselves, which is not unheard of for developers. Like we they build off each other. Not we, I don't make video games, but they build off each other, and that's how the industry evolves. But there have been a couple times that it's been pretty blatant that we're making a Sonic that is playing Olympic Games with Mario. And
yes,
if any
that's
of
not
these
your Sonic.
if any of these leaks are true, then you're going to have a Sonic that is trying very hard to be Breath of the Wild. So
It's yeah, like I think the thing. This is. I'm not gonna blame the fans for bad games. At the end of the day, ultimately, Sega needs to, get a rocket wisp up their ass. Sega series, but like, the thing is, the more we Sonic fans cower in our little nuclear bunkers, fearing the drop of the next 06 or the next Boom or the next Forces, even, the less likely Sega is to impress us. Because the more they're going to be treading on eggshells. And that's why you get games like Colors Ultimate, which are just treading on eggshells, playing things safe. Like Sonic Forces, for its pretense of ambition, is a game that treads on fucking eggshells. It's like, oh, you like boost gameplay? There you fucking go. Oh, you like your Green Hill and your chemical play? There you go, mate. Oh, don't worry, we're not gonna do a Crisis City. Don't worry about that, buddy. It's all good.
We're gonna
Nah, fuck.
we're gonna
Get your fucking show some balls, man. Like, come on.
I do notice that and we've said it like 1,000 times on other episodes, but just like if you look at Sonic in the if you look at Sonic like pre-2010, dude was doing everything. Like if there was one thing the franchise was, for all of its faults, it was really, really bold. And I'm not trying to do this as like a because we've had the joke that like every generation is going to do this, where they go, well, at least Sonic took risks with Forces. They're gonna end up doing that. No, like there was a point in time where Sonic legitimately took a lot of risks with his character and was just doing a lot of different things and not just flat out copying Sonic the Hedgehog or copying Mario.
Yeah, it's the thing
no,
with like
Forces is not a risky move.
Forces
It's not.
is Forces, to be fair to it, gives the pretense of ambition. Like I said a second ago, like it's the pretense of an ambitious game.
Yes.
But you know why that's a step in the right direction? Sonic Lost World wasn't even pretending to be ambitious.
No, it
Sonic
wasn't.
Forces is at least pretending. So maybe in the next one they might start doing it for real. Like that's
I think there's hints of it. Like I know I can argue both sides of everything here. I think there's a lot worth examining with Lost World here. So like if we're talking about not being dismissive of the Boom, I think there's something to be said with Lost World as well. I do think the parkour system, and regardless if you like the art direction or not, I do think that was a very polished graphical design there. I thought that was a very pretty game. Everything else considered.
I also I think that parkour system, I didn't hate it the first time I played, but I started to hate it during my second playthrough. And I think it's just because it's too sticky. I think if they just made the parkour system a little less sticky, then that game wouldn't be as frustrating.
And I don't know if it really fit entirely with the level design they were going for there. It is another situation. I think Colors did this too, where Dimps is doing something like really well on the 3DS, and Sonic Team's occasionally doing stuff really well on the Wii U. And there's a weird middle ground that could have made a really good game in between there. I think that's the case with. I don't know why they do this, man. Like, I really don't. It really does feel like they're trying to fix problems the other brings to the table. It's very weird.
It really just feels like this franchise is stuck in a cave surrounded by its own failures in a box. But you know what you gotta do? You know what you gotta do, Azuka, is take that box of scraps and make Iron Man.
I was actually thinking more Batman at this point because he's
I was
literally in a cave of his own failures.
Take your 06, take your boom, take those scraps, and make a fucking Iron Man out of it. Come on, Azuka, get your dick out. Let's do this.
I mean, you already do have Mecha Sonic Mark 1, bro. I mean,
can we just get a hashtag going? Can we just say hashtag whip it out, Sega?
Dicks out, Sega.
Dicks out for Dicks out is infinite at Sega Enterprises.
That'll be our shirt next week on our Sunset City's gift shop.
Yeah, it'll just be a shirt with a dick on it.
No, it'll be you know that like really shitty dick that everybody would draw in like middle school on notebooks just to piss people off. It'd be but the
one adults draw.
Yes,
it'll be nowadays where they've really defined their dicks.
It'll be
it's true. Like, have you ever played Civic Doodle with someone? It always if you play Civic Doodle with a group of grown men, it'll always end up being dicks.
But here's the thing: it'll be that, but the testicles will be Sonic and his spinball.
Well, we've gone well off course here. We are still kind of staying on the subject, which is ultimately how do we improve Sonic, which is a conversation I think every Sonic.
We've got an answer now.
It's a broad
We've
topic.
got an answer. How do we fix Sonic? Get your dick out.
You neuter him.
So, well, do you guys have anything else to say in terms of like what you think Sonic would look like under a Nintendo rule?
Right now, a mistake. That's about it.
Yeah, I think the game would be unparalleled. I think the actual if a Nintendo studio sat down and worked on a Sonic game, it would be some of the best we've ever seen. However, I think everything surrounding it would be a fucking nightmare.
I would like to think that Nintendo, if they were to actually work on a Sonic game, would actually put some consideration into drawing a proper distinction between Sonic and Mario. Where Sega have just been like, oh, we're making this a bit like a Nintendo game, better make it Mario. Like, I'd like to think that Nintendo would be like, nah, we gotta look at the things that make Sonic who he is and everything. And that can work. Like, you could get unparalleled results. I mean, remember the Family Guy and Simpsons crossover? That was entirely by Family Guy writers, and they did The Simpsons the best they've been done in years. So I'm just saying, like, I think you'd get a good product out of it, like Wayne says. But also, like Wayne says, fuck Nintendo.
It's a very torn thing there. I have to wonder, because I know a lot of people would be worried there'd be more nostalgia pandering, which I'm all for, because the pandering they would do is good gameplay, which is what I want. But at the same time, for all the people out here who want their version of nostalgia, keep in mind, these are still the same people that make Splatoon games. And if you wanted anybody to bring style to a Sonic game, I think it would be the Splatoon folks.
So the bottom line is we need Dimps to bring back the Sonic 4 Episode 1 engine and remake Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Perfect.
There
we go.
So, Pup, this is not the first time it's happened, and this will certainly not be the last time, that you've actually shaved a year off of my life with a statement.
Oh, please. You're literally on your way out the door after that subathon.
I wish you weren't lying.
Who suggested you capped it?
a lot of people, but in the live point, it was you at that last. So hold on,
Yes.
it was a combination. It was you live. It was Nick 10 days prior, and at the last point, it was literally my friend Ellie bullying me and just going, "Dude, you need to go take care of it. Go get off the fucking stream."
Enough's enough. Enough is too much.
He's
So,
already dead.
Here's the other side of the coin here. Why I think Nintendo would be a really horrible combination here, because I don't think Sonic is ever not going to be associated with Sega. If there was going to be any kind of a sale or exclusivity, I mean, the only thing that would happen there is like Sega specifically made a deal, like they still hold on to Sonic's rights, but they made an exclusive deal with one of these companies, like they did with Nintendo, obviously. I think that's really the only way you get an exclusive Sonic game while Sega retains the rights. Otherwise, one of these guys is buying Sega flat out. You don't have one without the other, regardless of what else Sega can be without Sonic the Hedgehog, because there's a lot there.
Tell you what, why don't
And
everybody get the super chats in and we'll buy Sega?
there you go. But the other part of that is when I'm looking at it, like this is what I'm saying, like everyone fixates on like the Microsoft deal going on with Sega right now, or Sonic and Smash Brothers, or the Mario Olympic Games and stuff like that. But let's keep in mind what Sony does with Sega as well, and that is exclusive Persona games. Persona 5, all the spin-offs are on different systems. That has not left the PlayStation brand.
It's so
And that is a
strange.
huge part of Sega too.
And it's so strange to me that like they were so surprised that Persona 4 Golden did so dang well on Steam.
Mhm.
They're like, literally everybody's been asking for this, and they're like, people wanted it?
Yeah, it's very weird. So I don't know if
Some
it's
of-
like an exclusive deal, or they're honed in on that niche,
I think
more Japanese centric audience.
I think it's more that for that one specifically, for Persona specifically, I've always kind of viewed it as Atlas Studio just not knowing what the fuck they're doing where marketing is concerned. That's
Maybe. I think they're more. I don't know, man. Like I've always seen Atlas is they stay in their lane better than most other developers, and they find massive success in it. I really only think that you'd have that kind of conversation is because Persona keeps growing despite itself, and suddenly it's a challenger compared to like the juggernauts like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, which has always been the mainstay in traditional JRPG circles. It's only until like Persona 4 did that conversation start happening, and that was on the fucking Vita of all things.
And then
Yep.
there's this fucking like Persona ripoff SMT that's been coming. I've been hearing some buzz about.
Yeah, so I these things take time. All these things take a lot of time, so I think it's like a slow burn. But I think Persona's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. But that is a part of it. This is why Sega is probably not like this is why it's all speculation. But this is probably why Sega is not like it would be like a suicidal move to uh be, you know, to go to one specific thing. But like I would imagine Microsoft has the money and they see that potential to be like, okay, you're ours now, and we will use all of this, not just Sonic the Hedgehog. Nintendo, I don't see them doing that. I don't see them
Nintendo
touching
would
Yakuza, Football Manager, Persona would go on Switch, no doubt about it. But they're not going to touch the more Western focused stuff
no. And that's
or the
because
more mature Yakuza. Yeah,
And that's because Nintendo has the exact same problems when it comes to like doing long game stuff, where they just get very, very focused on a handful of things and then go, "Oh shit, we didn't." Because you got this with the Wii U, you got this with the Wii. You're having it now with the Switch, where they do a lot of things really good, and then suddenly they're just doing that and not considering other avenues, and then they go from like this domineering force to being a joke for a while. It's happened repeatedly with Nintendo.
yeah. So that brings me to our final giant developer, or I just giant. We're really only talking about like the giant console holders right now. We are staying very old school in our mindsets here. But Sony, what do you think about Sony? Which I mean, even though we consider Nintendo to be like the Sega rival, because that's kind of what they brought up there, Sony's the thing that killed Sega. Like that's the thing that
The-
took them out of the market.
The PS2
Console
was
market.
the PS2 was the death bullet.
No, PS1. there is this infamous moment in E3 game history, the very first E3, when Sega got done rambling forever about the Sega Saturn, and they'd made this horrifically stupid move of like trying to surprise people by saying, "Oh, it's out right now for $499. You can spend $500 in mid '90s money for this machine," even though all of our business partners we're not prepared for this, and we don't have the games that are going to impress you enough to do this. After they got done with doing all the stupid shit, Sony's representative went up for their press release to talk about the PlayStation. They walked up to the microphone and said $299 and left. And that was it.
Damn.
Like that was like Sony was like that was a dude like Sony came in like a fucking it had revenge on its mind, dude. Like
They
the
came in with a
story,
mic drop.
Well,
the
in that
story
case,
of them like getting shafted by Nintendo. Like they not only came in, Sega was just they were just on their way to go to murder Nintendo. Is what that plan was, dude. Like Sega was just an afterthought to PlayStation. So even though like it feels egregious, like kind of offensive to me to imagine Sonic being a Nintendo exclusive character, it should technically be Sony is the real Sega killer here. Like that
Well,
should really be the offensive one. But honestly, aesthetically, he'd probably fit best on PlayStation.
if
suck
we're
the
talking
cock
about
of your
like
murderer.
these big AAA companies that are running good classic 3D platformer mascot characters, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was excellent.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think like Sony would probably bring a stellar Sonic game, but like if you don't own a PlayStation, rip you. No more Sonic games for you.
PS5s don't exist. Don't lie to me.
Well, I mean that part
They
sucks,
don't,
and I
though.
get that, but I guess a little bit more selfishly, I guess what I like about the idea about there being oh sorry, Papa, let me delete that.
Don't
We save
worry.
our super chats. So
Yes. Yeah, we
there we
saved it
go.
at the same time. That just means that he
Um
donated more. Don't worry.
so here's the thing, like if I got a little bit more selfish about it, like the way I've always bought video game systems is like I always end up with all of them eventually. That's just what I do. I want all the exclusive there. And this is
Ooh.
a very old school mindset. Xbox has the future in mind in terms of video game distribution. Nintendo's just going to keep being Nintendo. PlayStation, though, PlayStation is trying to be the very best video games out there. They want to win all the awards. They're the Oscar baits for video games.
I mean,
And
yeah, like as you say, if I were a selfish man, because I've got a PS4, I would be so game for like a PlayStation Studios developed Sonic game.
that's the thing there. I think when it boils right down to it, like if you wanted the very best Sonic the Hedgehog video game, it would have to be Sony that made it. I think they would put that to task for because they're not known for their characters. They try to be, but they're known for their game studios, and they understand that. Like Last of Us is a big name, like Nathan Drake and Joel and Ellie and Ratchet and Clank. Like they're all big game.
But you
Kratos,
know Naughty Dog.
but you all yeah, that's the thing. You also know Santa Monica. You know Insomniac now. That's one of theirs now.
Yep.
You know these huge names because they put a lot of emphasis on the people behind the scenes, these teams that make these games. And that's a very important factor for the Sony line of things. I do get concerned in terms of like them just trying to make just the multi-million-dollar big cinematic games, but
Mm.
honestly, adventure fans, if that's what you're missing,
That's what we would get with Sony.
that's exactly what you get with Sony. And I
That's
think the proof is in the pudding.
I do think that would be one concern for me because I feel like it's hard to take Sonic in that direction. But my one thing with PlayStation, like the big ones, is that I'll play them once when they come out, and then not really think about them again. Like, do you think I'm ever going to sit down and play through The Last of Us ever again? That's not a game. That's a movie where it occasionally interrupts the story to make you use a controller. Like, it's I don't know.
But
Can I-
again, like you're talking specifically about like, and they do make a lot of those games. Like their formula is based off
Can-
Last of Us more
Can
than
I make
anything
a
else.
really bad joke?
Go
Mhm.
for it.
Okay, so the reason that we're not going to get Sonic on Valve is because I want an Adventure 3 specifically.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And there's no way we'd get it if Valve took over. They are
You'll
allergic
Valve-
to the
you'll
yeah,
get,
Valve-
you'll,
yeah.
get Sonic, you'll get Sonic Adventure Alex.
Only in VR. Only in VR.
What if they
Then again,
actually did
on-
like a spin-off and called it like Sonic Adventure Big?
Walkie's
big day out.
No, in Sony's Sonic the Hedgehog, you're just on a linear path, and every now and then Sonic looks over at Tails and says, "Boy."
But come on, how good is God of War?
It's a very good game.
It is
It
a very
was
good game.
it was pretty decent.
It's a fantastic.
I'm more with Wayne than anything else. Like, this is my concern with Sony is like I can tell they're Oscar bait. I'm like, they're very well put together games, but they're also like, yeah, but like it's
If
just
I-
shine to a polish. I've played this
Have,
before.
Yeah, it's like if
have-
I'm ever going back to those, it's not real. It God of War more so. I do think it actually has a better combat system than people give it credit for. But it's like I'm still more interested in the story than the actual gameplay of that.
have
I still think they
Insomniac-
put a massive emphasis on it though. Like I think there's a clever mixture there. Like, I don't look at Naughty
Yeah.
Dog and say they don't know how to make video games.
No, and it's like, and I think that was Santa Monica, not Naughty Dog, and
If we're talking God of War, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
But
have-
and to be fair, I did make a jab at The Last of Us 1. I have not played The Last of Us Part 2 because again, if we're getting into the whole story thing, the story was the main draw of the first one for me, and that story ended with one of the best endings I've ever seen to a video game, and I never wanted a sequel. And so that's why I just haven't played The Last of Us 2. Instead of bitching about it, I just
sequel
won't play
just
it.
doesn't exist in your mind.
There's,
But
I mean,
have
there's a
heard that The Last of Us Part 2 is a wonderful game. Like, it really emphasizes the gameplay that time.
it's I don't know. It's back and forth, man. Like that, we'd be here all day if we discussed Last of Us Part 2. What I will say about what the genius of this, in terms of what I think for Naughty Dog is concerned, is I think they take care of all aspects of the game they're making. And yeah, sometimes you don't get the most complete, satisfying game experience, but I mean, it all plays into each other. I think the cutscenes work in tandem with the gameplay, and it's a satisfying thing because there's peaks and valleys in terms of their difficulty and how they string you along through that campaign. And at the same time, it's also a great experience if you have a significant other sitting on the couch with you. Look over Grand Theft Auto. They got great cutscenes, or like Red Dead Redemption, great cutscenes, and they're very concerned about immersion, but they go too far in a lot of directions because, like, you get somebody like to sit down and watch Arthur's story in Red Dead 2, and it's an amazing story, very human-like, but it's a very human story. But at the same time, though, you're gonna tell them like, okay, but also sit down and watch me play as I wander around and go shoot cougars, like 5 cougars, and make a pelt, and then I have to actually go physically ride over to the pelt thing, and then
when you
also
said
my
cougars-
horse's balls shrink when it's cold, though. Isn't that neat?
Well, see,
what I was
thankfully, I'm a
imagining when you
lonely
said
piece of shit, so I don't have that problem.
what I was imagining when you said shooting cougars.
Oh god.
Something
Oh,
completely.
I'm going
That's
to
the same.
jail.
That's the same thing
But-
that I thought of, to be honest. So
Yeah,
we're
But
both
here's-
bad
going to
people.
jail.
Well, I guess what my point is though is for like the more adventure era folks that wanted like a grander story, that really emphasized the characters, but also like really good dialogue. That's something that we don't have with those games. Like
That's
some
why
really
it's called
powerful
war.
dialogue that feels natural from these characters, and has like a seamless transition between, the cutscenes and gameplay and
Oh,
everything.
you mean
else.
like what we got with Project 06?
Oh, man, I
I've not
love
played
the
that yet. I
new-
don't know.
I love the new cutscenes in that.
They're
I need to check that out.
amazing.
Nick,
Oh, I had such a big grin on my face when I first saw one of them. I was like, "Whoa!"
actually,
whoa,
Nick,
whoa.
do you have a PS? I may be the only one with a PS5 here.
You are the only one with the PS5. I do not buy new systems until
Yeah, so
they
you
have
fucking
very
flex
stupid
your
special editions.
I was gonna
Yes,
say, 'cause,
fucking
like,
expense machine.
Ratchet and Rift Apart really was an excellent, like, that when I picked that game up, I felt like I was a kid again. Like, it felt like a PS2 game, but like made on modern hardware. And
Yeah.
I love that. And that's another reason why I would just be so happy if Sonic was on like PlayStation. preferably PlayStation 4 and 5, because while I'm very lucky to
Yeah.
have that system, not everybody does.
It's gonna
And-
transition, dude. We're in the transitionary stage. It happens every generation.
Get
Yeah.
Insomniac to incorporate Sonic into the Marvel universe and start by releasing Spider-Man Miles Prower.
God damn it.
I hate how much
Oh
that.
my God.
I hate how much that
That
works.
joke works so good. Just dropped it out of nowhere. No, but like, I don't know, man. Here's the thing about any of these giant these studios. Like, they have a plethora of dev teams under their belt. And what's fascinating about Xbox is I know they're just buying them because they can afford it, but they are trying a different strategy. They are trying to diversify a little bit here. Um, but I think any of them would look at Sonic the Hedgehog and they would be like, okay, here's what works about this. We're not going to try and mold it to one of our other games, but we are going to take what we've learned and we're going to apply our experiences behind the scenes to bring out the very best Sonic the Hedgehog in his terms. You know, like I don't think you're going to get a Ratchet and Clank Sonic game. I think you're going to get the very best type of Sonic game they would know how to make.
You know what I actually fear is that if
Wow.
Sonic got pied off to like one of these companies, they would just immediately jump. Hey, Mania 2, fucking just make Mania sequels. Fuck the modern Sonic.
I think they would be smart enough to know, like, in between the giant ones, we would have. I know they're trying to do this with Metroid. It's very problematic for me right now because we don't know where Prime 4 is. But I do think they are trying to do, like, okay, here's the 2D one, and here's the bigger 3D one. And they're both amazing on their own terms. And I think they are trying to recapture that magic from Prime
Gotta say
Fusion, like the
that's
double dip
exactly
there.
what we got with Prime Fusion, and we even got
Dude, that was a magical
we even
time.
got to be able to use the fusion suit in Prime, if you remember that.
I do remember that. It was
I do.
awesome.
It really
Mhm.
was. Do you know if the Prime suit's available? I'm sorry, the Fusion suit's available in the trilogy, Wayne?
It actually is. In fact, I captured a bit of footage of that for my review. It's weird. Sorry, I try not to go off a tangent too much here. By doing certain things in the game, once you complete Metroid Prime 1, you should have enough points to redeem it in like this little item shop, and then you can just unlock that because it used to be like a Game Boy Advance connectivity thing. And
Mhm.
now it's just something you can buy in a little item shop by like doing certain things.
They just give you the
in
points
games.
from the achievement system from Prime 3, don't they?
Yes, and then they
Yeah.
extend that throughout like all 3 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stream those games, dude. Like after your amazing marathon, I was just like, I'm jonesing for these games again. I love these games. So that's neither here or there. But yeah, I mean, and then Sony in terms of that, this is the most ideal world for me, right? Like where they're not gonna just throw Sonic to the side. Like they put as much money behind Sonic the Hedgehog as they do with these other big brand names that they have available to them. That's best case scenario in this imaginary world. But I also think Sony already would. I think they would continue to let Atlas just do whatever the fuck they're doing, and of course, they would let Football Manager or Total War and all those other fucking things just do what they do. That's kind of my thinking on that. I think the rest of Sega would probably flourish under either Sony or Microsoft's branding. I think Sonic has the potential to flourish with Nintendo, but I also feel like it has the potential to be Star Fox again, and then the rest of Sega gets
Or the
swamped.
fan base gets fucked by Nintendo.
Oh
Uh,
God, that's a good point. That's a
another
really good point, pup.
another thing though, like Ubisoft, no Ubisoft, because they've got fucking Rayman and they don't use him. Imagine
Yeah.
having Rayman and not using him. I wouldn't put it past them to not use. Imagine having Rayman and not using
I
him.
think that's a little more complicated than you're giving it credit for, man. Because every time Rayman was used with Ubisoft, it was under the supervision of Ansel, the guy who created Rayman. And he did some stellar work, but now with all the problematic stuff surrounding him, allegations at best, we don't know one way or the other. But
I didn't know this.
yeah, he does not work with
Oh,
Ubisoft anymore.
yeah.
You've not seen Rayman since he has left.
Oh shit! Well, you know what they got to do is beat him up, take Rayman, and then make new Rayman games without
Oh
him.
my God.
They still own the rights to Rayman, but I think
God.
there's
Imagine like
more to it than we're giving it credit for. Is
Because
all.
I don't think we should, if he's like a really bad, like, I don't know, molester or something, I don't think we should be giving molesters money, but you could always just, like, rob Rayman from him.
oh my god.
And Chow Mix, I'm not saying that Star Fox is as powerful of a brand as Sonic the Hedgehog. I think Nintendo would take advantage of that, but I do think we underestimate how many of these like what we consider like obsessive gamers, like top tier gaming franchises, just are left to squander. I mean, it's mind boggling to me. Samus has gone for so long without a video game, and how Star Fox has like 1, 2 amazing games under their belts. It's weird to me, man. It's really weird to me.
Yeah. I don't know. Sonic's weird.
Yeah.
I fucking worry about Sonic.
But I mean, Pup has a
I miss
very
my
good
Sonic
point there.
Tales. I miss him a lot.
Yeah, you'd have no fan games if Nintendo
Yeah.
did. If Nintendo owned Sonic, and like fucking fan games is the one good thing about
Well,
Sonic
it's like,
these days.
It's like that shit I said earlier at the beginning of this podcast.
Well, yeah, I was just fucking elaborating on that. I wasn't trying to claim the point.
Well,
as my
I
own. Jesus
missed
Christ,
that
Wayne, calm
point,
down.
Wayne, and I think that further backs up my opinion that Nintendo should be the very last people to, if there was somebody that bought Sega, I do not want some Nintendo to be the ones that it feels like just total defeat to me on every level. It's not worth it. It's not worth
Yeah.
the positives that come out of that.
Because Wayne made a good point that he didn't get his due recognition for, I say that we all give him a little kiss on the forehead.
Oh my god.
I thought it was like a big wet group kiss.
No, it's one by one.
They're
dude.
they're
Like,
both acceptable.
I require
COVID-19
tongue.
and everything. No tongue.
I got a full beard now.
Just a gentle little peg.
Oh, nice.
Very tickly.
I'm actually thinking of growing my hair, like my facial hair out a bit.
Do it.
Yeah, good. For
Become
you guys
Wayne
with
the
your
lumberjack.
facial hair.
I'm wondering if maybe the Scott the Waz comparisons will stop.
No, you'll just be Dad the Waz.
Why
Then,
not just pretend to
fuck.
be a spin-off channel from Scott the Woz and make profit?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm
super
told
chats.
like that, like I'm a dad now that anytime I'm on stream, because like I'm not shaving the beard. I look good with it. My wife likes it. I'm keeping it.
I wish I could have a beard. I would look better
I
with
better
a
just
beard. I
update my
can't
drawing.
get a beard. 25.
You got
years
hair
old.
all over you.
Oh, but you need to separate art from the artist or something. I don't know.
No. See, I get to make jokes that people are allergic to my hair because of my character design.
You just grow out your nice big beefy bush and you'll be fine.
Can I take some of yours and just like glue it to mine or something? Like I'm talking about beard, by the way, not bush.
I'm only
Hey, you
gonna
ever
give you
see-
bush. Take what you can get.
You ever seen that South Park episode with Cartman buying pubes from Scott
Oh, yeah.
Tenorman?
I haven't seen that.
That's one of the greatest
Oh,
pieces of
God.
animation ever created. Is that
So
episode?
fucking great. What are
Let's see.
we talking about anymore?
I don't know.
Let's do
Emma
super
has a good
chats.
point here. Yeah, let's do that in a second. But I pay attention to M. Like he's got some of the best Sonic videos out there. But Ansel literally said on Instagram he'd make Rayman 4 after Beyond Good and Evil 2, and then straight up dipped out of the industry when Beyond Good and Evil 2 at God knows what level of completion. Yeah, that's never coming
What an
out. That game's
absolute
never coming out. Dude.
bastardo. Wait, hang on. I recognize the name M, but oh yeah, I recognize M.
He did the Adventure versus Boost
Yep.
video.
and making forces again, and
Phenomenal.
yep,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
purpose. He makes.
It
good
doesn't make any
YouTube
sense. How go subscribe to him if you have not. He's made some of the greatest Sonic videos on this.
Legitimately, Kino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, super
Cinema.
chats.
super chat time. All right, where's the beginning of this fucking shit? Scrolling up. Okay, right. Yeah, because we go around the table. I get the first one. Okay, so Sonny sends 279 Canadian, says, I'm calling dibs on buying the rights of the Zeti. we begin with the Zeti talk.
They
I
are the
wouldn't be as
best
sensitive to
Sonic
the episode.
characters.
They are the official mascots of Sonic
That's
the
going to be the
Hedgehog.
next Sonic Adventure Zavok.
There you go.
There's gonna be some random fan art of us just like interviewing Zavok, just giving legitimacy to this character.
And then eventually one of our cartoon characters is just going to be not even the Deadly Six, just all Zavix.
It's all Zavok all the time.
Savix all the way down.
Nick, read the
Rock
next
in
goddamn super chat.
Rockin' Nest gave us $10. Finally able to watch this live. Love watching you guys.
Well, we love watching you.
So it works out.
The second definition I'm using is the definition of a voyeur.
We've seen your balls.
The next one we have here, of course, this is where I'd land. For $2 from Jamal Simmons, have
From who? From who?
Shut the fuck up, Pep.
Refer to him by his proper title.
Our pal Jamal, Jesus
There we
fucking ball sacks. Have a Nick
We need to
Milk
make merch
Day
just for him,
and a
like
Nick.
just a shirt for him, and send it to him.
Yeah, but we can't. If we sell anything, all proceeds.
No, I
have to
mean
go
like we
to
make
him.
one shirt,
This
and then
is-
we
yeah.
make it. We send it to him.
Literally have his face on it and just put our pal Jamal.
And we
and
make
have
it
like
for all of us.
have our
one for
little
all of us.
signature, have our little signatures at the bottom of it as well. Just like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
our pal Jamal, we love you.
It needs to be his face, but in a jar.
And it needs to be it needs to be ironically pixelated as well. Like
Yes,
I love it.
but it's have a Nick Milk Day and a Nick X Sally Akron rules.
It's a. He's spelling it right. You guys
yeah, give him credit where it's
We've
fucking
moved past
due
that
serious.
arc.
We're past that arc.
Oh god, what is this though? What is this fucking? Who did this? Sirs,
Oh,
Who
the
did
art.
what?
who did this? This artwork.
They tagged us on Twitter.
Oh my god. Okay, I need to check my Twitter. But okay, that I'm
You got some
Yeah,
nice
that-
beefy thighs there, bro.
I do. I genuinely that's going straight in the wank bank. Thank you. Wallace, you're up with this one from Lederick.
Okay.
Yeah, Nathan.
Lederick, $50. Would like to see. First of all, thank you. Very generous. Oh my god.
Again, Letter, Jesus.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Lederick.
Would like to see Tails get another Metroidvania game. We need. We got to get back on track. Oh, that's
That's
different.
not
That's
part of the
me.
super chat.
That's Nick.
yeah,
That's
That's
Nick.
Nick.
But
saying we gotta
but
get
it
back on
flows
track.
so well into it. I'm not gonna lie.
It
I mean,
does.
that's me talking to us and to Sonic the Hedgehog. We got to get back on track, boys.
Well, you had me at Metroid and you had my love at Vania. Let's go. Yeah,
But we
Tails.
have
legitimately
one.
excellent.
Tails Adventure. Yeah,
We
it is
have
a
one.
very
It's-
interesting game. Yeah.
It's called Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal, except you just play as Tails.
Oh,
And it's
I'm
really
Adventure
good.
too.
I'm
Play
sorry.
Tails
I'm
Adventure.
sorry. Search action because apparently people hate the name Metroidvania so goddamn much.
They're gonna try and change it. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Metroidvania, but it's just part of it. It's just part of it.
I don't know. It's effective verbal shorthand. Anyway, let's who's up
Yeah,
next?
so Wayne, I'm gonna drill a hole in your tombstone and fuck it. But like, okay, so
Please
that
do.
Jordo sends $10.
It's not the same when they're into it.
after-
Jesus.
Sirs. That's us demonetized. So that Jordo sends $10 and says, "Afternoon, fellas. Just wanted to show my appreciation. You guys always make my shitty Friday workouts a little less shitty.
Work
Also,
days.
wow, didn't know you guys got Scott the Was on the show. I also just want to know, how did you get swear words in your super chat? Because if ever I try and super chat with a curse word, it always stops me.
I don't know. I do
wanna
appreciate you
know.
being here, Wayne. I get a lot less Ben 10 comments. I'll tell you that much.
Fucking bitch. I'm gonna.
Yeah, thanks, Nathan.
Ah!
So,
What? He's Nathan Wallace the Was.
this is our next super chat is a good point, and I didn't even comment this on Twitter because I just had a horrific headache the day this actually fell. The day that fell on, but Aiden F sent us $5. Generations is 10 years old, and I feel ancient. Happy Friday. I do too, and I think a lot of people have a lot of frustration because it does feel like that does still feel new-ish to me, but at the same time, it's like, wow, we really haven't evolved at all since that
It's
game. have
literally
we?
10 years since Sonic peaked, but also like fucking the thing is, Generations, I think they should open like a community project on consoles as well. Like re-release Sonic Generations with like a community hub for mods on consoles, because it feels like the base work there for like a continuing Sonic project. It feels like it's all absolutely there. And the fact is, on PC, players 10 years on are still going back and playing new content for Sonic Generations.
That would be a powerful way to do that. If they manage to Bethesda it up and like really bring in like a modding community there,
Yeah,
that would be
properly
brilliant.
acknowledge that modding community and find a way to make those mods available on consoles as
They
well.
do.
Literally, re-release the game on like modern hardware with a modding community built in.
I do think they're kind of flirting with the idea a bit with the customized character and the cosmetics with Sonic, which isn't anything new with any video games, but I
Yeah,
do
what
think that
level-
interactivity with the fan base is I do think they're gonna try and push that a little bit further. If they made another Boost game, I would not be surprised if a level editor was a part of the proceedings.
And
To
then
be honest, once you make a Sonic game with a level editor, you don't need any more Sonic games.
once you make it,
Effectively.
I mean,
If Sonic Studio ever comes out, that looks amazing.
that's...
BRB Tortoise is tearing up room.
Oh my god.
Cirrus,
Oh.
get Aki Dave.
Oh my god. Okay, fine. Aki Dave, where do you live? I need to go pick you up, apparently. No, for $1.99, Aki Dave says the Sunset City GoFundMe page. Let's buy Sega. Yes.
Make it happen. And then we'll spend all that money on a road trip like a boss.
And cocaine.
And
Wayne, you're
And
next.
cocaine.
And I believe it's AKA Shodan, $5.
Thank you,
Yep.
Shodan.
Fucking
Thank you.
yogurt
Thank you.
mail. And then we've got Sonic Toast. You remember Sonic Toast, right? He did a lot of like figure animations and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, he has some really good, fairly recent videos covering like just about every Easter egg from that 30th anniversary comic. And I think he like ranked or at least discussed every single Sonic character ever created in another video too.
He does big stuff. He's another good creator we've got in here.
A lot of variety on his channel, really good stuff.
Yeah, and if we don't, blow them off a little bit, like you gotta blow a little smoke up your ass if you're a fellow YouTuber. But says you guys are hilarious. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Sonic Toast. You as well. Oh, we've got some artwork here.
I didn't see this. We have a whole ass comic book or a little comic strip there.
I'll throw that up for everybody in the everybody who's watching to see as well. because
This
they-
is
So good.
This
They
is
need to see-
literally the abridged version of this entire. Oh my god, Cirrus's tits. Hang on a minute, you committed the cardinal sin and drew me with fingers.
This is amazing. We need to voice it over. We need to actually voice this over.
Oh, we got
Go for it,
more
go
this is
for it.
actual super chats as well. Hang on, yeah, go. Okay, so we're gonna voice it. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, Sonic is Shadow's power bottom.
I have a question.
Yes, Wayne.
Metroid Dread.
Who says no? Is it me that says no?
It's you.
It's you.
Oh, no!
Shut the fuck up.
I haven't slept in 86 hours.
Capture us all
they-
beautifully in 3 panels. Thank you.
Literally, the characterization here is the best since fucking Pontac and Graph. Honestly,
Thank you thank you very much for the fan art submission, Dreamboat. I saw this on Twitter. There's another one that I want to throw up as well in a second. But
You want to throw up? Oh my god, we
Oh
should
my
send you
God.
home.
no.
Is that your new fetish?
I'm not called Mike. I hate to break it to you.
Oh no.
We got 2 more as
Whose
well.
turn was it?
Fuck.
I think it's yours, Nick, actually.
Okay. Mr. SP sent us $10. Thank you. Always good to have you every week here too, dude. Imagine if Disney bought Sega. That's interesting.
That would be amazing.
Oh, no.
I
No.
don't know. Like, I don't think it would be worse, but I don't think we'd have the fan game community anymore.
I'm trying to imagine what that's like. I
They wouldn't let a kid have a Spider-Man on his fucking tombstone.
Fair. It would just be hyper Nintendo. It
Yeah.
would be hyper Nintendo.
yeah.
I've
Yeah,
also
that's a good point.
thrown up Ink's fan art for everybody.
They would make
Tough
a very
being
like
late.
competent like thing that's like, oh yeah, this definitely reminds me of. It would be Sonic Mania, but that's all you would get. Like it's just Sonic Mania. That's literally what you would get all the time. Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
I've literally had my first Surus fan art, effectively.
Yes,
This is
you
the kind of stuff
have.
you get. But
All right,
the thing
time to
is,
work on your new VTuber model.
no, unlike Surus, I'm not just gonna fucking change to a fan art because I don't want to get sued.
Well, if it makes
Um,
any difference, he would have a crossover with Homer Simpson if Disney bought
Ah,
him.
hell
Oh
yeah,
my
Oh
actually.
God.
damn! I saw that poster. Is that real?
Yeah, that's
real.
real.
Yeah, it's real.
Why?
No, but here, okay, imagine, right? Sonic Adventure 2's box art, but replace Shadow with Homer Simpson. I would play that. I would play it.
I swear to God, Pop.
I mean, honestly, like Goof being like this grizzled, like tired old man is like one of my favorite ideas in my head to begin with. But just like, I don't trust the current Simpsons writer with that.
I mean, did you see the fucking state of their little Marvel crossover? The good, the bad, and
I
the
saw
Loki.
I saw clips. That was plenty.
It was embarrassingly awful. Like,
Oh, people want Sonic and Kingdom Hearts.
Is he in Kingdom Hearts?
I don't.
I want to go
I
to the
don't.
Door to Darkness. Otherwise, I'm not interested.
I have a lot of respect for Sora and that franchise.
it reunites Sonic
it's
and
a-
Chris Thorndike.
It's just so fucking obnoxious.
I adore Kingdom Hearts. It has such an enormous grip on my soul and on my heart, I guess. But wow, it's the dumbest fucking franchise in existence.
It really is.
Pretty
It's so
fireworks, I like that
unbelievably
too.
sincere for being a corporate crossover project. It's very it's fascinating.
I mean,
hate it.
humblest
I
of
love it.
beginnings. It was just like, hey, dude
Humblest
had a
of
concept. and-
beginnings?
Humblest beginnings. What, Disney?
Yeah, yeah. No.
Disney
I-
and Square Enix having a baby is a humble beginning to you.
Getting a gargantuan set of like super triple. Like they brought in Robin Williams to voice the genie for the first game.
Yeah, but you guys know how that project came to be, right?
God, I love
Money?
Avengers Endgame. Humble
No, it
beginnings,
was
right?
literally this. It was Nomura wanted this idea to happen really bad, and he couldn't get it to work. And all of the executives kept saying no because he didn't think it would happen. And then he just so happened to run into a Disney executive in a fucking elevator and pitched it to him. He had his elevator pitch, and that's how Kingdom Hearts happened. That's humble beginnings.
I don't know if that's. I don't know. I don't know.
Hey,
Make,
you gotta admit, it's at least neat. Like, it's cool.
It's cool. I don't know if it's humble.
Make
I
a
think it
Sonic
is.
game.
To a
That sounds
degree.
aggressively unhumble. If I'm honest with you.
Make a Sonic game where you play as a Jack Pacific Sonic toy interacting with Buzz Lightyear and Woody, and all of the levels are playsets, and that would be really cool.
Oh, it would be like the Toy
first-
Story 2 video game, except
the
modern.
first level could literally be Hot Wheels, but you play as a Sonic.
Wait,
And
Pup,
Dr.
You would
Robotnik
never
could
see
be
another
an
Yakuza game. I promise you that.
Pup, have you ever actually played the Toy Story 2 game?
I haven't, no, and I really want to.
It's
And I
so
have-
good! It is an amazing game. You need to play it.
I have also not played it.
Oh, but no. Can I just say, my favorite video game poster ever, just because of how oddly threatening it is the Mega Drive Genesis poster for Toy Story 1, the game. I'm gonna get it. I want you to throw it up on the stream. It's just so oddly threatening. Toy Story Genesis. Yeah.
Dumb luck of a wacky visionary. Yeah, well said, Manny.
Ah,
I
where
mean
is
the Buzz's Rescue is not it's not peak video games, but for the time, it's a very competent 3D platformer, and I very much respect it for that much.
Where the shit is this?
It was also, I'm not gonna lie, like as a 3D platformer, it had some of the most interesting level design because they flat like I remember going around Al's toy box in that level, just like what
Al's Toy Barn, you mean?
barn box your
You fucking
face.
fake fan. Look at this.
I'm playing
Look
the
at
game.
Is this not the most aggressive marketing you've ever seen? I'm just
Oh, that's
imagining
back in the.
Play
I
the
remember
game.
that back
I'm
in the
just
day.
imagining
That's yeah.
Tom Hanks just screaming that line at you. That's the thing I always also love about like Toy Story 1 is its juxtaposition with other Disney films like oh Pretty Princess and stuff. And meanwhile Toy Story is just about two dudes that fucking hate each other and beat each other up and stuff.
Like actually, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but yeah, now I'm thinking about it. Like Toy Story does have like a very strong reputation with video games. Like Toy Story 3 was like very like everyone talks about when that came out. They're like, no, actually play it. Like
I
this is a
didn't play that
competent
either.
fucking game. You do need to.
The evolution is like the Toy Story 1 poster is like play the game.
Well, 'cause
The
what-
third
didn't
one, no, actually play it.
didn't the Toy Story 3 game also have like a really competent level editor in it too?
Yeah, it had a toy
Yeah.
box mode.
Yes. Yeah,
I-
Jesus.
that was
I
the
think I'm gonna
origins
buy
of the
that.
toy box mode for Disney Infinity.
I think I'll buy that.
And even Toy Story 1, it's rough in the gameplay department, but it's graphically really, really impressive. And to bring it back to Sonic, it does have the same dev team,
It's 3D
Traveler's
Blast.
Tales. Yeah.
The
This is the Sega Saturn Sonic era developers.
There's
That's
also
them.
there's also a YouTube channel where one of the devs from Traveler's Tales goes through like the process of all the different workarounds they had to do to make 3D Blast work and how to make specifically the Toy Story game work.
That's Game Hunt.
It is a fascinating dive into the limitations that the Genesis gave them and the unique ways they had to deal with it.
Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, boys, we've got 3 more super chats we got to read.
Oh,
Yep.
So,
Where are we?
you want Supersonic 68. Oh, one digit away from being the perfect name.
My God.
Wallace, you want to get this one?
Yeah, Supersonic 68,
Thanks, Nathan.
$5. Excuse me?
You gonna read it or what? Come on.
Yeah, somebody neutered a cat. Sonic Lost World is best 3D Sonic game of the past decade because it's the only majority 3D Sonic game of the past decade. That makes me ill.
You know, I say it all the time.
Yeah.
Sonic Lost World is a really good game. I just fucking hate it. I mean, I don't hate it. I really like it, but it's just God, fuck that game. You know, like
It's man. I'm very, very intrigued to pick that one apart, especially after Colors.
everything it stands for is so fucking wrong, but it's actually quite good. I just look. It's like I said in Cirrus's stream last night. Or did I say no? I said it in Nick's little private patron viewing. I said Sonic Lost World is a really good game that I really like. I just hope the person that thought it was a good idea dies.
I mean, on every front there, it's trying to copy the success of Colors. It really
mean
is.
Mario?
Yes, it's trying
Mario
to do.
Colors.
They
mean-
copied a lot of Mario and Colors, and they got critical praise all over the place, and they sold very well considering it's
What,
only on
Lost
2
World?
platforms.
Lost World
No
is
Colors.
oh yeah, Colors. Yeah, Lost World we're talking about though. Like
Yeah,
Lost
I
World.
mean it's mostly the Colors devs back again.
Yeah,
and
Lost World.
they-
I think it made a profit of $2, and it sold 1 copy.
I bought that day one, man. That Knights DLC got me.
You're literally
ain't
the
gonna
only
lie.
person that bought that game.
I guess I got a day one though, man. Like
If you look at the sales numbers, there's no number; it just says Nick.
I want to get it just for that Zelda DLC.
it's worth it.
I've got it on PC, to be fair, and I do enjoy it.
I
I
mean,
should
it-
probably.
The night
Sorry, go on.
stuff is just reskinning. I don't. We're going to be here all day if we talk Lost World. We got to get through the
I
rest of them.
should read this one from the Evil Delic, who sends £4.49. Is what a weird number. Thank you. Pup, you are my alien dog to save me. No, Pup, are you my alien dog to save me from the flux? Yeah, I am that guy Krasinski from the episode. I can't remember what was his name. It was something like Krasinski. Also,
Dad.
could you guys all say good evening, Tony? He's my dad, who is a big fan. Oh, or is he a
assume he's
fan
a
of
big fan.
Big the cat? Because like big is in quotation.
Yeah,
Is he
I'd
not
assume so.
really a big fan? Does he hate us? What's going on here? All
Well,
right,
on 3?
on 3.
What's his
One,
name?
Tony.
Tony.
1, 2, 3.
Good evening.
Good
Tony.
evening,
Tony.
Tony.
I forgot what we were saying. Hi, Tony.
God damn it,
Wayne, you're so fucking useless. First the sorry, now this. Just get out. Just get out of here. You're not
Okay.
welcome here anymore. Just get out.
So
This-
Hyperhound sends us $4.99. I don't listen to many podcasts, but this one I tune into every time. Can't get enough of listening to you guys. Love the content. Thank you, Hyperhound. And if you're ever looking for a spot, I mean, you can sniff our dogs. But I don't know what I was getting at there. I was
What?
trying to replace dogs. Is what I was
I
getting
think
there.
you meant ass, not, but like, yeah. We've got 2 more. We've got 2 more from functional people. Okay, so
This
Suris,
one is from that Jordo. $5.
Hey, I wanted to report a complaint. The milk I ordered had a bunch of bees in it. I'm confused. Please refund. I love you. Thanks.
You should have ordered the non-pulp variety then, obviously.
yeah,
Nick
but
Milk
because
is Pulp Fiction confirmed.
you said I love you, I think I will process the refund anyway. Just be sure to get the right one next time.
Thank you for spending money for asking for a refund.
Oh shit, Nick! Don't fire me, dude. I'm just trying to get customer satisfaction. Okay, but come on, I'll go give you. I'll go
Look,
give you
if
a
they
hand
had-
job behind the restrooms.
I'm sorry, Nick Milk is already a bottle of customer satisfaction, if you know what I mean.
And every customer gets a free Hey J from Wayne. I go on,
Alright,
Wayne. You got.
So, AKA Shonen, $2. Thank you.
You said a mouthful.
No message.
I love that Shonen like will comment like in the chat. Like anytime he like sends us money, doesn't say a fucking word.
Every time.
He doesn't feel the need. He's a quiet man, but
It is fun like watching the conversations play out here. And I do apologize because I want you guys to know we do read along there. So it is fun to read along to like the conversations happening alongside us. I think it might be almost more fun to watch them react to the shit that Pup says sometimes. So that's
is Nick Milk any good? I actually made a whole pot of it last night. I can put a picture up on.
and thank you for that, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, don't mention it.
Congratulations,
I'll put it
Milk. You are officially the cow of Sunset City.
It's the milk soup. Oh, fuck
Don't eat
it,
too much of it. You'll go crazy and start throwing pumpkin bombs.
The
about
Lazarus milk.
Yeah, that is a point. I'd like it's the kind of typical theme park thing where it's already a pre-existing recipe. It's just, what it actually is goblin soup because it's green and I'm gobbling it up.
God damn it. Why is that? Why am I laughing at that?
With that said, guys, thank you so much for joining us today on Sunset City. I've got more Pop Rocks in my mouth, and I'm very excited to talk while I do it.
Yeah, that's right. Take Daddy's Pop Rocks.
Just everything's sex is what happens here. We're all sad. We're all
This is a
sad and
shitty
lonely.
sex cult. I'm leaving.
Worst sex cult ever, Pup.
Top topics. Please uncanon me from this domain.
Sorry, Tom.
We,
you are forever a canon guest on Sunset City, and that is
No, he's in the chastity cage. I don't think he's a minor in. I don't think he's a major in many countries.
And
Right.
can we just put that on the poster of Sunset City where it just says in parentheses somewhere as a quote, worst sex cult ever?
We really need a really like
I just
nice
put up
poster of
the
us.
merch. You could have said that a few hours ago.
Well, we're gonna see how this first batch does, and we'll get creative from there. But yes, guys, just remember if you do want to help us out in any capacity, we do appreciate the super chats.
There's
Two of
also
us
the
here
merch.
do this as a full-time job now, not the podcast, but just content creating. So any of that is a big help to us. And
3.
oh, you do it. You do too. Ooh.
Yeah.
The only person who got a
Wayne?
drag kicking and screaming.
In
out of
other
this is
words, I
Wayne.
just don't have another job. I'm a
Wayne
student.
can't. Thank you very little.
Yeah. You'll get there,
Wayne
bro.
is
You'll
boss,
get
more
there.
like Wayne is bitch.
So if you do
Yeah,
want
I'll give
to
you
have
that.
any obnoxious crap from us, go to Sunset City Gift Shop. What is it? Creative. I forgot
I'll
what it's
just fucking click the link in the pinned comment. I'll
Pinned
put it in
comment.
the description from here on out as well.
When I
You
finally
can
get this
also-
up on a podcast form, I promise it's coming up soon. I'm getting a new
And-
computer that's gonna let me do all this stuff. That's what's keeping me from doing more things.
on the actual channel, you can also look up the timetable of all the Sunset City trains, and the gift shop is also there among all the other ways you can listen to our podcast show. And yeah, if you don't buy the merch, you'll die. Am I allowed to say that?
Wait,
Is
I
that
thought
allowed?
I thought Wayne was going to die if they didn't buy the merch.
Wayne
Well,
just
no,
dies
that's
anyway.
that's a favorite thing of theirs. Don't give them that promise.
Yeah, don't. Okay, so if you buy the merch, Wayne dies. If you don't buy the merch, you die. Okay, that's
I
the
don't.
deal.
I did not agree to any of this.
All right, well, guys, if you want more from us, I did just drop part 1 of my Sonic Colors review on my channel, Game Apologist. I'd love to get your feedback on that. The numbers aren't doing super great on that right now, part because I
They're
didn't
not.
release anything for a month. No.
Ah,
But yeah, go check that out if you want more from me. And be sure to subscribe because part 2 will be out next week and so on and so forth. Cirrus just finished up his subathon, and I'm gonna just
you're
Give him a
fapping.
Why does it
Yeah,
sound
why-
like you're fapping?
I'm jacking off, dude.
You guys don't clap your hands together when you're jerking off?
No,
You clap
not
really weirdly.
generally.
Has anyone? It really does sound like a foreskin. Like
Well, now you know the secret to Nick Milk. So yes, anyway, Cirrus, are you gonna be doing anything recent or in the near future, or are you gonna just finally relax a little bit?
So the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, Sunday, I am not touching streaming. I am this is the most you guys get out of me. I have been doing this for 16 days straight. I want to literally aliven. But on Monday, I'm going to be recording live my thoughts on Resident Evil 2 and Metroid Dread because I played both of those during the subathon. I just didn't get a chance to do my thoughts on them because of everything else going on. And I have been gifted a wonderful piece of cringe that is Sonic related from Chowmix that I'm going to be taking care of. It's going to be, if you're familiar at all with what I do as my normal content, then you know the flavor of this if you've ever seen Anime Exposed.
a Sonic pocket pussy.
It's worse than that.
Oh my god.
It is
It's a
worse
Sonic
than
sex doll.
Oh no. You'll see. It is
Oh, I
amazing.
can't wait.
It is amazing. So you guys have Chowmix to thank for whatever cringe you will encounter when that episode goes up.
All right, and also Wayne also recently wrapped up his Metroid month, and that was a awesome time with a lot of surprise guests in there. Me and Sarah show up, big surprise.
Wait, what? You got invited and I didn't? What the fuck?
I swear to God. So Wayne, what you got going on?
Well, I've been taking mostly this week just kind of as a break because of kind of like serious, God, the fucking burnout from all of that. But next I'm gonna be kind of going back to basics and looking at some bad superhero games. I'm still contemplating if or when to tackle some Sonic related content. Originally it was gonna depend on when the Sonic Origins collection went live, and it just hasn't. So I don't know. Well, I'll figure that out. But I want to at least start getting some videos out again soon. But tonight I am thinking about just doing a chill stream over on my Twitch channel and playing some of the old demo discs that I've accumulated over the years.
The chat's got me laughing. I'm sorry. Just
No,
the
I'm reading
Mike,
some of my comments on
come
my recent video, dude. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt there.
You're
You
good.
guys, I had to read this. Like, somebody wrote, they quoted me when I said I could probably beat most of you up just as a joke in the video. Then the dude says, me, laughs and pulls out a keyblade. I'm like, bro, that is the quickest way to get beaten up.
Yeah.
I'll have you know, I've been to the door to darkness and back. I will beat you up. I have the power of God and Mickey Mouse on my side.
Lightning.
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt!
I have the power of God and Mickey Mouse on my side. Oh my! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Pup. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just laughing at so there's this fella that keeps saying Mike stop. I don't know why, it's just really funny to me. Who is Mike? But I think
I don't know.
I get the
Whoever
feeling that
he
maybe
is.
Morbid Object 5 might be Mike, because I think him and Awem or Awern 123 seem to have a conflict going on, but I'm kind of soaking this up and enjoying my popcorn right now. But
I think he's
Soaking
just
up the
trying
milk.
to. I think he's just trying to see if there's a mic in the chat right now, and like just trying to see if he can get under somebody's skin. I think he's I think he's managed it.
For real, Mike, get the fuck out of here.
Everyone's doing
God.
All right, this is officially a no mic podcast.
We don't use mics at all. We use I don't want to say what our mouths are near right now.
I speak into a potato. It's my turn to endorse myself, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just be over on my channel stopping Mike. So you guys are really going to want to check that out and see that. But like, in all seriousness, I've been doing my reading up on some Carnage comics lately. So if you're into your symbiotes, and you want to have some symbiosis with me, you can do so over on my channel.
That,
I love the insanity of our chat. Like,
Is
Mike
Mike
is
a
over
new?
party.
Is Mike now part of the lore? Are we just going to be
Mike
is
selling
over
shirts
party.
that say Mike stop?
Welcome to
did Mike
Sunset
do?
City. Mike's not allowed.
Fuck
No
off,
Mike
Mike.
zone. Mike must be stopped. Mike Joe is disappointed. It's officially no Mike. Oh my god!
Mike, no, Mike, stop killing children.
Attention, members! The first one of you to get Mike's feet pics wins $1,000. Terms and conditions do apply, and we will not give $1,000.
Actually, I don't want to see a man feet either. So
Speak for yourself, boy.
Feet
Well,
pics for
now we know
Wayne.
how we get some Wayne water.
Everyone
That's how we do it.
send Wayne feet pics tonight.
Nick
Everybody.
Milk, Wayne
like that.
Water.
Wayne
I'm gonna,
Water.
I think I'm gonna take a picture of my foot for Wayne
Just
right now.
Sonic feet pics. Yeah, that'll do the trick.
Oh
Hold
my
on.
God.
Hold on.
What?
Cyrus, you got Big Mommy Milkers, so
Hmm.
Joe kind of speaks for itself, but
Can we go
how do we
now?
feel
Like-
about hold on. How do we
Cyrus
feel
Boy?
how do we feel about pup pudding?
Pudding.
Can we don't?
What's the pudding?
Hey, silly egg crumb!
It's putting its dick in your. Wait, what?
Mike and Sally.
Oh,
I think
my God.
we need to stop. We need to just stop the
It's
show.
time. It's
Yeah,
time
it's-
to end,
it's
everybody.
a-
Episode is
It's
canceled.
time for the episode to climax, everyone.
Yeah,
I
everyone.
fucking hate Sunset City.
Sunset
admit it.
City Fight Club is going on in the live chat right now. That can continue all at once, but we're done.
Admit it, this is the most you've smiled all week, Wayne.
End
Oh God, I hate that that's true.
End the fucking show, Cyrus. God damn it.
Well, that was a waste of time.